called driving your competitor out of competition. It's exactly what the
That's what,
strategic value of it is.
as far
You
as I
eat
can
the
tell.
you eat the losses for a little bit, and then boom, they got nowhere else to go. Like that's one of the easiest strategic evaluations there are.
That seems to be what Microsoft's um, strategy was, to get as many exclusives as they could.
Absolutely. But that's
To
what they're arguing with the FTC and say, we're not going to do that.
no. There was a verbal and written agreement between the parties. So Microsoft went to Sony and said, "Hey, here's written documentation stating that we will not have Call of Duty exclusively to Xbox. We will never do that." And that wasn't good enough.
Of course, it wasn't good enough because it's a single entity. Even if they hold true to that statement,
Uh,
there's going to be all kinds of shit that's developed in the future that they are like, well, that's not in the agreement, so we can go ahead and make
yeah,
that.
but that has nothing to do with monopoly, right?
Yes, it
Because
does. It
there's
still drives.
plenty
It still,
of exclusives to Sony.
no, there's
Like,
not enough, not comparably.
what are you talking about?
There's not enough
Final
comparatively
Fantasy alone.
that
Final
nobody
Fa-
wants to buy. First of
Final
all,
Fantasy
16's
alone, because
awful.
it doesn't come out on Xbox. And two, there's so many IPs by Sony that are exclusive, just exclusive. Like, it takes so long to even get to PC. It's not even worth it.
But they're counterbalanced with the amount of exclusives that Microsoft already has.
Which is
But
what?
now you start throwing in,
What exclusives does Microsoft have?
well,
Other
you've
than
got all
Starfield,
Halos,
which is the big one. And
you've
once
got
again,
all.
if you want to, you can go back and forth. They both have exclusives. So
Yes,
for
they do.
Sony to come out and say, "Hey, the reason why we're stopping this is A, because we're scared you're going to take Call of Duty away from us, and that's why we're bringing this lawsuit, specifically Call of Duty." And you have Microsoft on the other side saying, "We'll never take Call of Duty away from PlayStation." Why would they if they own Activision? It doesn't make sense. Like, why would you say I'm
It
not going to sell
absolutely does make
50%
sense.
of my product to this
It's
to
the
these whole
same
people?
reason why you have loss leaders and all kinds of things. You take a short-term loss to drive out competition, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want, recover all that loss. If you are carrying these exclusives and you eat it for 5 years, and then they're out of business, so there's literally nowhere else to go but
Who's out of
Xbox
business?
minus new
Who's no? Who's out of business?
Sony.
Sony? Sony's
Yes,
never going out of business. They're winning. They won
right.
the console war. There's
This would
nothing to.
turn that. That's the point. This would change that balance.
It wouldn't, because
It would.
Microsoft in writing said they're not going to
It
make
doesn't.
Call of Duty
It
exclusive.
doesn't matter. That's something that can absolutely be number one argued out if they really were dumb enough to try and overturn it. But number two, they will find a way to leverage the fear that the FTC actually has, which
Which is
is
what?
that they would choke off with the volume of their um, exclusives if this
Once
merger goes
again,
through.
name those exclusives. Name 5 Xbox exclusives.
I mean, I don't have a fucking
Like Halo Infinite killed Halo. They're not going to make another Halo. So that one's gone. That's what I'm saying.
I don't.
Like
But
Gears
then
of War,
I
they're not making
acknowledge
Gears anymore.
Xbox, so I don't
Starfield
have
is the only thing that I can think of that's
I.
exclusive
But again, you're not
that's
an
worth
expert
anything.
on Microsoft's situation either.
I play a lot more games than you.
Well,
A
that's
lot
fine.
more games than you.
But do you know strategically what is actually
So many have been killed and the
what is
rumors are everywhere.
actually a
But are there any survivors?
General
Hold on.
Toria was defending a
exclusive to
group of
them?
refugees at the old Zakarum Cathedral.
I don't understand what that
But they're
means. I
likely
can look
all
up
dead by
Xbox
now.
exclusives right now on your Google.
Wait.
Like, what are you talking
Okay.
about?
You're the wizard
But
who
I'm saying you
saved
don't know that
Bastion's
right now
key.
as we're arguing.
You've
I'm
saved
saying
us
that
too,
the whole
won't you?
thing is pinned
Of course.
upon
It's what I
Call
do.
of Duty.
I think that is ridiculous. That is
I don't think you
directly
understand how much
to
money
a-
Call of Duty makes.
No, it's
I think
not
you have
that.
no idea how
That
much money
that
Call of
is
Duty
not
makes.
that is not the argument.
That is the argument.
The argument is the monopoly that
Over what? Video
on gaming
games?
Yes,
It's not.
that's what the argument is.
The monopoly over video games, Jake.
Yes, that's exactly
That is
what
not
the
what this
FTC
case is about at all.
It is. It's
It's not.
about a monopoly. It is. That's exactly
It's
what the
not.
FTC is arguing.
It's not.
It is. Microsoft.
It's not that they're gonna monopolize gaming.
That's exactly
One,
what they're concerned about.
Microsoft admittedly and Sony admittedly say that Xbox is in third place. Well, if you count Switch, well into the third place.
There are 42 exclusives.
Now, how many exclusive does Sony have? How many exclusives
I
does?
literally just got there.
All right.
I literally just got there.
Well, before you give one half of the information, you should
I
have both.
you know
halves
I
of the information
I
ready to go.
can't.
That's just
No,
decency.
that's ridiculous. I can answer a question and then go here. Let me get the other hand.
All right. So 47 total exclusives on Xbox. And are we talking about Xbox S, Xbox X, all of Xbox?
Let's see here. All right, so console, PlayStation console exclusives. All right, so how many of these do they have? They have 2 pages, 5. That's 20, 33 currently.
Currently
what
on
some-
one system.
Yes, for PlayStation they have 33 exclusives.
And Xbox X. How many exclusives on Xbox X?
Don't know at the moment. Hold on. Well, this is PlayStation console. So
PlayStation 5 console.
it's still listed as 42.
Those
So
are
they
those are
already
not
have-
those
already
aren't
have
all those
more
aren't far off. Right? And no one's
Now
saying
add
that.
a whole nother company's worth of games.
And once again, Sony owns companies that make exclusive games for Sony. Microsoft don't get those games. Ratchet and Clank is a perfect example. All of Nathan Drake is a perfect example.
Those
Like,
were the
yeah,
ones
those
that
are those
on
are
that
those are
list.
considered like ones, but
Those
there's
are the
like
ones that are on the list.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Which-
those are exclusive to Sony. Okay.
They're on that list of 30 whatever.
Because Sony went out and bought those companies.
Right.
Microsoft went out and bought a company. And now Sony's like, whoa, you can't do that because the game that you buy will be exclusive.
That's too simplistic of a view
That's
of a company.
what is going
That's
on.
not what it. That's not what
That's
it
what's
is. You're
going
being-
on.
No, you're being.
I mean, Activision
David,
Blizzard. All right, even look at Blizzard. It has 3 games, right? I don't
Blizzard
know
has
if
3
Diablo's on Sony. Is it? Is Diablo on PlayStation? WoW
I would
certainly
assume
isn't.
so.
You're
I would
assuming.
assume
Don't
it.
assume. Let me look it up. Where's my phone?
Okay, then you look it up.
Is Diablo 3 on PlayStation?
I don't know if Diablo 3 ported it, or is that? I thought Diablo 4 was the first one that
It's
plays on console.
Diablo 3 is on PlayStation 3 and 4.
Okay.
So they have PlayStation.
Okay. So what about the Overwatch games? Are those on PlayStation?
Yeah, but those are free to play. They'd stay free to play.
That doesn't matter because
It would.
that
They wouldn't
also
make that
be-
exclusive if it's free to play.
They-
And
they
the
already-
same
they
with.
absolutely did.
That's the whole point.
They
It's free to
absolutely
play. It's free to play. Warzone.
It doesn't matter.
Warzone
It
is
builds
free to
brand
play.
Loyalty.
Okay.
It builds brand
It-
loyalty.
That's fine.
That's
Microsoft
a
isn't going to
advantage.
take it away because it's a free to play game.
Yes,
they want
would.
the maximum amount of people playing a
No.
free to play game.
I'm
You don't know.
telling
You
There's
are
a
wrong.
strategic decision. How am I wrong?
Because
How am I wrong? that
there's
it
a
could be
strategic decision if you think that they're trying to run them out of business. Okay, over the long
Absolutely.
term,
That's-
sure. Over the long term, I agree with that. That's the nature of business. What they're doing now isn't about exclusivity of one singular game,
Refugees are inside. Follow me.
which is
You're-
what Sony had said. Sony
What you're
says,
being is short-sighted.
all right,
That's ridiculous.
let me finish. And I'm not being
Short-sighted
short-sighted.
situation.
I'm telling you now
You need to
the
look at
industry
the
that you
whole
don't know
situation.
anything. Shush. Let me tell you
No,
this.
I'm not wrong. First of all,
Let me hold on.
let's be very clear
Hold
here.
on,
My
sir.
entire career is about
I don't give
shit.
a fuck. It's not in this. You count diapers. Hold
I
on one
count
second.
diapers? Is
Hold
that
on
what I
one
do?
second. I don't know what you do.
Oh my god!
I said hold on. You were interrupting me several times.
Okay,
Let me
go ahead.
finish my statement and then you can
Okay.
disparage. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
What?
So,
Okay.
Sony brought the thing. It's about COD. That's all it is, right? That's the game that they're bringing up. True or false? That's the game that they're like, if this goes exclusive, they're gonna just take over this market, which is the market of first-person shooters in the military format. Okay, it's two. Two is that Warzone specifically, take COD out of it, right? Warzone specifically is a free-to-play game. A free-to-play game's money-making attribute is the season pass and all the merchandise that you buy. The secret to making those games successful is a massive amount of player base. If you do not have a massive player base, two things happen to your free-to-play game. One, nobody can get a game. And if nobody can get a game at a drop of a second, they ain't going to stick around and wait. They're going to go off to the next game that has a better queue. And two, the more people you have in there, the more 12-year-olds you can pack into that thing, the more they see the bling that other people are carrying, the more likely they are to go buy all that microtransaction merch. And this is where you're blind on it, because you don't buy the microtransaction merch, right? You don't know how much money they're making off. They're making billions.
That's a ridiculous thing. Just because I don't believe
billions.
it doesn't mean I'm stupid.
They're making
and ignorant.
billions off of a free-to-play game.
I am aware of it.
Okay, so being
That's
aware that they're making billions off of a free-to-play game because it has such a massive fan base and player base.
Hold on.
Why would they take it away from Sony and lose 50% of their fan base overnight?
What are they making?
Does that make financial sense to you?
What are they making billions of dollars off of?
Warzone. You can download Warzone for free. You don't have to spend a penny on Warzone in order to play and enjoy it. But the vast amount of people who play and enjoy this game, they don't just sit on the free side. They go and they spend real money on digital shit. And it makes billions. So what you're suggesting is Microsoft's long-term plan is to take this billion-dollar franchise and cut it in half for the sake of selling Xboxes, which they're already losing money on. They've always lost money on since Xbox One. The very first one, not Xbox One. They've always lost money on Xbox. The way Microsoft makes money is through their exclusive games, and the same with Sony. So tell me how that makes financial sense of knocking your $1 billion to 500 million. And then I'll agree with you. Go ahead.
Very simply. Because the intent is to take the short-term loss, and then those people who no longer can access it.
If you think a $500 million loss is going to go over with the stockbrokers and the stockholders, you out your mind.
No,
go ahead.
We're not doing that.
Go ahead.
You made me shut
up.
Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. Go ahead. Continue.
What they are going to do is they are going to choke that out, take the loss for a little bit of time. That drives scarcity and desire. Then they see exclusivity of multiple games on a single console, and they go, fuck it, I have to go get a console. And then all of that money transfers back in because they're back into those games.
What if they buy a PC?
You lose Sony. Sony no longer is a price point to fight against as far as what the cost of games are. They then have Then they have unmitigated run.
You're just talking. Hold on, you got to define these things that you're saying. So
what are you talking about?
What do you mean the price? Sony's sitting
game?
there and saying the price of games are. What does that mean?
The current cost of a game is like what, $60, $70 between the two of them?
Yeah.
Okay, and they both. That's the competition, right? So if right now conceptually, if Microsoft said now your games are $100 and Sony says they're still $80, where are you gonna go? Where's your money gonna go?
That's not.
It's going to go back to Sony.
That's not the model, right? And that's not the trend.
That's
not the trend for these
Where's
types
your money
of
going to go? It's going to go back.
That's not the trend for these kinds of games. You're just talking. That doesn't make any sense because you're not thinking.
Oh my God!
No, listen. Free-to-play games are trending for multiplayer. If you're not free to play for a first-person shooter, you're probably not going to get any traction at all in the market. That is just facts.
I think free to pay is absolutely easy as shit to open and dump because there's so many of them. People are finicky.
Not when your name is Call of Duty and the game is the premier AAA experience that they sell it to be. This isn't some mom and pop, dude. This is fucking Activision saying,
I'm
we're a
well aware
AAA
of what
game.
it is.
Here is our free-to-play multiplayer game. Now pay for gun skins, please.
I understand the
So you're
model of free to
saying
play.
your point is, yeah, I know you do, but you're not connecting it to the
I'm not.
overall
I am connecting it. I
trends
understand
of what's going on. So
I
you're saying they're
completely
going to
understand.
take a short-term loss. You don't think everyone's going to be pissed off? Right now you have
Absolutely, they're
cross-play.
going to be pissed off. That's absolutely going to happen.
Okay, so
100%.
how many Xboxes are they going to sell by going exclusive with COD? To make
But
up
that's
the
point. You're not
annual
seeing the rest
revenue
it.
of
It's not.
Warzone.
It's not just about the console sales.
Uh-huh.
It's about It's about being like Apple and forcing them into an ecosystem that they can't escape, and then they
Sony's
can
already in
up
that
costs.
ecosystem. You can't have a regular Bluetooth. I mean, you can't Bluetooth to the PS5. You have to get a specialized dongle and bullshit. Like Sony is its own ecosystem. It works very well within all of its stuff, from the TVs down to the PC.
Right. That's what they want. Right. That because
Microsoft
that's
is the
brand
same way.
loyalty. That drive.
Right?
Does Microsoft have Okay.
Microsoft doesn't have a TV, but like they own PC. Right?
They do own PC, and they make it very
General
easy.
Torian
And they have
for
a phone.
you to-
Sony has
to
a
do that.
phone.
was using an arcane
Microsoft
magic
doesn't have a phone.
unfamiliar
They
to me.
did.
Do you know what she was doing?
Nobody
She
bought
was
it because it was
creating an
shit.
orb that turns the living into Malthael's death creatures.
No, Sony's better at an
A single
ecosystem,
orb can transform
no question
hundreds
about
of
it.
innocent
Okay.
people
which is
every
the whole
year.
They're
point.
already
That's why
there.
they're leading.
So it's not
is
putting
because-
them into an ecosystem. They're already in the ecosystem.
No, my point is that Microsoft realizes that they were losing to the ecosystem. So what do?
Microsoft
You
isn't
try
losing
and
to
show
the
people
ecosystem. They're
into
losing
an
to the
ecosystem.
better equipment and the better games.
Those crucibles.
PS5 has the better games. That's why
Sure.
they're losing. That's why they're losing. PS5 has the better games. There's nothing else. There's no ecosystem. None of that. It's PS5 has the better games.
And how do you know that? Where's that?
You look at the
evidence?
sales. Like
look at
if
the
you
sales.
look at it, the amount of PlayStation sold versus Xbox sold, right? PlayStation kills it. Then you look at the games that succeed on PlayStation, like God of War 2, those types of exclusive games, and see how much they sold. And then, if you really want a good comparison, see how much they sold when they released on PC. Because that was the only other way to play. So when God of War came to PC, it's the better version, in my opinion, because I can tweak it. But I had to wait 5 fucking years for that. Probably longer than that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you no, and I'm not arguing with you. We're just talking. We're defining things, so we both understand what we're talking about. Because you might be right, but I don't understand what you're talking about because it's not defined, right? And some things are misconceptions that I'm trying to be like, no. This like free to play is about player base. Full stop. That's all they care about. That's all Activision cares about. When Activision hit on Warzone, that was it, and that's their last game. Like, bar none, that's their last game. They're going to throw everything they have into making that a moneymaker. You don't believe me? How is Epic hanging around? Epic.
I'm
How
not
is Epic
arguing-
hanging around? Epic is
I am
hanging
not
around because of
arguing the-
Fortnite. Fortnite is a
I-
free-to-play game on all consoles with crossplay. And they are
I
making
am-
billions off of that shit. Apex Legend
I-
too. Apex Legend is another free-to-play by EA. Cross-platform, making billions.
I am not arguing that point.
Okay.
I am arguing the point that there are strategic ways to
Yeah.
eventually drive this into a monopoly where Sony is no longer a player, and then you
How long is that
generate.
going to take?
I mean, it
50
would probably
years? 100 years?
it would
10 years?
I mean, I'd have to know specific things in order to give you a time frame on it.
Uh-huh.
But it's absolutely the same thing as when your bank fucks you. Like
Uh-huh.
they build you get built into a situation where you are comfortable, and then they squeeze until you're not comfortable. That's how everybody generates as much money as possible. So the
Okay.
loss, somebody will do an analysis to look at what is the migration rate likeliness of cutting off
Why would the angels
because
do
they probably
this?
won't cut off PC, right? So they're only going to cut off Sony, and maybe the Nintendo people. I don't know if Nintendo even does it,
Nintendo.
but
After years of my pleading, the
but they're gonna scale it. They're gonna look at the risk. They're gonna look at the likelihood of migration from the past. So what did they have that they managed to cut off, and what were the migration rates of the overall versus what the current is? And then they're gonna look at that risk, and they're gonna make a determination and say, do we cut support to it? And would that loss, the short-term loss, because yes, the player base going down would hurt their revenue for a certain amount of time. But if they think the migration is going to be enough that in, I don't know, 18 months, 5 years, whatever it is, the time scale, that they can recover 80% of the lost revenue, and then they can generate, this much brand loyalty, and they can get this much adoption from their ecosystem, and whatever they want to look at, because there's definitely tons of options there. They'll make that determination. They would absolutely be like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna turn off the spigot. If the numbers come out right. But that's all proprietary shit that I'm not gonna have access to be able to tell you risk wise, does that make sense? Because I don't have it, and I don't know that. But from a general, like, strategic standpoint, that people I've worked with, would they absolutely take a loss leader in order to try and gain traction, especially if they're so far behind on the console or whatever it is that they have determined is strategic value? Absolutely, people do that all the time.
Why are you not seeing the strategic value in having $1 billion?
I'm not. What did I just say? I see it. The question is the risk and the migration pattern. Because if you do it and you cut off the tap and you calculate that 70% of those people who are on Sony will be like, you know what? If you tack on, if you come out with a package and you do a specialty deal on their Xbox where,
why do you not think that the player base would just move to another game? Like instead of doing that, why wouldn't they just go to Apex Legends or
and
PUBG
some will
or something like that?
Some absolutely will. That's what the calculation for. That's the risk purpose. That's why you pay actuaries, is to figure out, is that what is the likelihood of that migration. That's what it's for. So again, that's information I don't have, but just looking at what is possible and what would be viewed, what would be calculated at a level to determine
so what
whether
possible
there's value
isn't
in doing
really
it.
How I think about it is what's the most likely, most reasonable outcome, right? So the most likely, most reasonable outcome is that Sony's. I don't see how it holds water, but then again, I'm not a judge, and the judge is going to look at it in a very different way, obviously. But I think at the end of the day, Microsoft wants a $1 billion property in their pocket so they can work on other things. I think at the end of the day, Microsoft is kind of like, okay, I think eventually we are going to get out of the consoles and we are going to stop producing hardware. We're going to become like the Netflix of games, which is what Game Pass really is. And because of that, having this bank of games from Activision and Blizzard would go a long way to making that system...
That
whole.
Absolutely could be a strategic approach. There's no question about that.
The most
but at the same
reasonable
time,
outcome.
You're still running into the same problem. With to some degree, you then have Netflix access issues, because if in fact,
and so what they're gonna do,
Sony is licensing these items, then there's going to be contract negotiations, and if Microsoft can turn off the tap, that is once again a way that is that puts you in a position where you are a monopoly.
You're thinking pessimistically. That's not how they're thinking. What they're thinking is they want to put Game Pass on Sony. That's what they want to do.
You stop, you two.
That's their end game. That's what they want. They want to put Game Pass on Sony.
I mean, that's fine if that's what they want to do, but as a regulator, your job is to look at the potential dangers of the merger,
right,
and the likelihood of those dangers, which is exactly what FTC is looking at, because their argument is about the impact on both Nintendo and on Sony. That's what their particular filing is about. It's not the suing of Sony, it's the FTC's filing, and their concern is monopoly. That's what they filed against. So that's where they're coming from. Is they're worried about the exact scenario that I'm describing, which is they gain too much power over access of games in one way or another.
There's no way they get
And they can
access.
cut that
You're
off.
using games generally, and I don't understand. What do you mean? Like all of a sudden you're not gonna be able to play chess? Like what do you mean monopoly over games? And if you're talking
just
about
what you
one
said, you
singular
just have
game, once
game
again, there
library.
are 3 massive options out there for you to go play. What are you talking about monopoly? You have
That's-
other options that are the same price
Oh.
as the option in front of you.
But again, if they own the game library, it has to be licensed to Sony, right? There has to be negotiations, and Sony has to pay Microsoft for the right to produce that game to put it on their platform. That's how Microsoft would make money in your Netflix of games concept. That's how that works. Which means that that means that they have a ton of leverage.
Why wouldn't it just be
in
like
those
any other
negotiations.
app? Like
Huh?
Netflix doesn't pay Sony to be on Sony. Sony doesn't pay Netflix to be on Sony.
No, but Sony owns.
That's right.
No, but
how does
pays-
Netflix make their money? Off of the subscribers to Netflix.
That's not how they make their money either.
Okay.
That's not how they make their money.
That's how I think they make their money.
No, that's not how they make
Like
their
producing shows and subscriber bases. Okay. Like
But
once
but
again-
the point is that Netflix is in this situation would be in a Sony situation. They are paying licensing fees for the content and the exclusivity of the content, what they're not producing.
Right.
Which is why
I did not
Netflix
find
has
Malthael on
been having some struggles
But I did find
because
What is
they're
that? But Sony doesn't have to pay for
they
anything.
murder.
It has nothing to do with Sony.
While allowing
What are you
their
talking about?
Netflix's troubles aren't Sony's
No,
their
troubles.
true
No,
right?
no. It's
Sony
nothing
says,
to-
"Hey, I can put you can put your app
have
on
a
my
choice
No,
console."
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
I'm saying that's how it would work. I don't want to change subjects yet. Right?
No, I'm drawing a parallel. I'm not changing subject. The parallel is currently when Netflix has a show that has a licensing fee, right? They pay for exclusivity access, right? So Peacock can't get it.
That's
What
right.
all that right? That's what they're paying for, right?
Right.
So again, in this scenario, Microsoft is the one that's holding those licensing fees, which means that they control access,
Right.
which means that they
Through
then
Their app.
through the negotiations
Through
of
their app.
no
Yeah.
no through
That's
the
how you gain
negotiations-
access
Thank
through
you.
their app.
No,
Right?
it's not through their app.
Yes,
Through the
you
negotiations
can play
of
their
their app.
library if you go get Game Pass, right? You,
No.
Jay, can go.
No.
You can't play their library. You can't play Xbox's library.
So are you only? So you think the only way that
No,
they're
hold
going
on.
to
Answer. The, go ahead.
what?
No, go ahead.
No, I'm talking about my licensing stuff. Is I'm talking about like console.
I know
right?
you
So
keep going
you
back to the
wanna
game,
buy a game in this-
and you're thinking they're going to license it out to Sony or turn it off. I'm saying no, they're not. They're not going to do that. The game is free to play. It only survives if it has a massive fan base.
I
You're-
am speaking.
Oh.
No.
How could you know?
So how would you even if they decided to turn it off, right?
Right.
We must be on our
Right.
way.
It doesn't change the landscape as much as you feel it would because 3 other options which are just as good, right? 3 other options that are just as good that are the same price point even.
That's the current situation. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Again, if you own those buckets of games, and the only people who can determine who can put them on their platform is Microsoft,
Yes.
and that dynamic changes.
But it's not all library of all games. So how is that a monopoly? No one's stopping you from going out and making a game and putting it on
I'm
something.
disgusted by humanity during my time on Sanctuary.
You should
Right?
cease
No one's
following
stopping
and get to
any-
the
There's a
survivor's
monopoly.
guide
There's a
before you
thing
die.
as such as a monopoly of your entire horizontal chain.
Okay,
vertical.
explain that to me.
Let's just say
A monopoly on your entire chain. I mean,
horizontal chain. What I
You're
don't know what that
able-
means.
If I am ever to
So
sleep
so
again.
the easiest way to explain that is based off of like manufacturing, right?
Okay.
So in let's say the generic approach right? You've got tons of manufacturers, you've got tons of suppliers, you've got tons of manufacturers. You negotiate deals with each of the sets. There's market forces to determine which suppliers and which purchasers you're going to do.
What's the monopoly?
I'm explaining it. So you have all of that going on. The minute you start owning every aspect of that
I
to
still have
control
much guilt
costs,
over these.
you then can make
So
up
you
your
know
own
of
costs,
this, do you?
which is
Okay.
the monopoly of
past as well as
the
the
whole
future.
system.
All right,
Which
give me
means
an
that
example
you
of when that has
say, so
happened.
like in our situation,
Oh, don't worry.
With
When does
McKesson,
that happen in real life?
I'll be fine.
it happens all the
If I
time.
kill
That's
Tell
why they've
me.
integrated it that way.
Tell me. Give me a real life example.
I'm literally telling you,
Okay, go ahead.
McKesson does like what we manufacture, what's called McKesson manufactured items. We determine the cost.
Okay.
We just say it.
Okay.
Period. So
Okay.
there's no checking it. There's no
Are you the
there's
people,
no
Are
nothing.
you
If
the
you wanna
only
get your
people who
hands on
produce this good?
machine- Huh?
Are you the only people who produce this good?
Yes, in this case, yes. That's absolutely it.
So you're the only person
You
who
shouldn't be
produces
so
this
down.
medical device
Not
A.
much to be joyful about.
Yes, with our name
Okay.
on it. Yeah. With those
I
prices,
have
yes.
learned that in
Okay,
times
so
such
we
is
own
there
the
another
whole-
version of medical device A made by some other
perhaps
company
when
out there?
you're just as much as
Sure
I
there
will
is, which is
understand.
probably 2 or 3 times the cost.
Okay.
Which then takes the choice out of the situation. Just because something exists doesn't mean there's actually a
No,
viable.
but like, so that person doesn't own the supply chain, and therefore their cost is more.
That's right.
Okay. And so are you illegal? Like, how do you say compliant?
I have no idea because it's not my area. I know they do.
So what are you
because they have-
explaining to me?
Does this incessant
I'm explaining to you what that is.
You don't think they have to stay within like market
Of course
price,
it will end,
within
and
reason?
you will have a
There
long,
is no,
happy life.
absolutely not.
You
They
think they're
determine
just
the
like
market price.
you
Because I
they
was not
determine
being
the market price.
entirely truthful.
Yeah,
That
because they're the only
was
option.
so
So they
Travis
determine the
will
market
never
price.
believe
But
you
there
could be
is medical
happy
device
with
A
that.
made by Genco, right? You make medical device A made by
medical
McKesson.
device, but sure.
Whatever. It doesn't widget. All right. You make widget.
Sure. That's right.
McKesson makes widget A.
Uh-huh.
Right? On the market, there's 5 widget A's. Yes or
That's
no?
right.
There are
Currently,
5
yeah.
widget A's. Okay. Made by Genco, AB Co, da 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 da, right?
Sure.
No, I'm asking you. Or is
I
McKesson
mean, I
the only
genuinely-
person
I
making the widget?
Say, it is
Because if
wonderful.
McKesson's
I
the only person
genuinely
making
don't
the
know
widget,
the market of our
Scared of
generics.
my
I know
visions
that
every
that's
time
what we
it
do. I know from a
just
pricing
take
perspective
care
what
of
we do because
yourself.
it's my
It's
job.
always
I
about
don't know
saving
the full
world
manufacturing.
first,
I know we
isn't it?
own every aspect of it. I know that we determine what the costs are and what we pass on to the customers. It has nothing to do with the market as far as our pricing department is concerned. I know
Okay.
that's what we do. Now,
Okay.
as far as what their competition is, I genuinely don't know because
So
it's
how
not
are
my
you
role.
equating this to games then?
Because it's the same concept.
But it's different commodities. And
What does that have to
commodities
do?
act differently. Right? You would agree with that?
What does that have to
different
do?
different commodities act differently in the market.
So you don't think for one second that if Microsoft had a big enough body of games,
I think if the
they
moon
would
crashed into
say,
the
"You know
world,
what,
then it would end. Yes, Jake. If in whatever you can come up with a hypothetical to a thing to allow it to happen. Yes, if you want to, yes, you could. You could absolutely come up with a situation where Microsoft is like, okay, you know what happens?
Not as
Sony
unrealistic to believe
Sony gets
that was
sued
something
in a
like-
class action lawsuit because their headphones explode on people's heads and they knew it, hypothetically, right? So they go bankrupt or they're going bankrupt. At which case they're not selling as many PlayStations, and Sony's like, or Microsoft's like, it's not worth it anymore, cutting it off. Absolutely, that could happen.
Not
But
the scenario.
in an actual reasonable type of way, what Microsoft is doing and the moves that Microsoft has made up until this point are showing them like the Xbox S is probably the wave of the future, a digital console if they make a console, a cloud-based kind of console with Game Pass being the primary mover and shaker of how they make money. And
Sure.
the only way that commodity makes money is by having a massive massive base. So what they were counting on was the Xbox would be competitive with PS5, and because of a variety of reasons, I think COVID had a lot to do with it, because the PS5 became super exclusive, and the want of having a PS5, drove a lot of people to the PS5, whereas like the Xbox was available and it doesn't seem as rare. I don't know what it is. But I will say that the vast majority of good games right now are absolutely Sony's. There hasn't been a killer game on the Xbox. I can't remember the last one. Like a killer app that I was like, fuck, I cannot wait to play the next one. I don't have those types of games on. Anyway, but that's not the point. That's a different complaint. But no, their moves up until this point show them to be, I want to be the Netflix of video games. And the way you make Netflix of video games profitable is having a large library that you cycle. And that's the other part that they're doing now. Is they're taking games off the library and now they're starting to cycle them so you don't have access to them all the time. And then two, shit, there's a lot of guys here. And then two, put it on every fucking thing you can. And if you don't think they have plans to put that shit on the Switch, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't disagree with you, but the point that I'm getting at, and your PlayStation example is exactly
I know
what would be the.
And I'm saying that's so far fetched that would never happen.
It's
just so far fetched. It would never happen.
No. You just said it. The exclusivity of Sony and whatever behavioral impacts that drove people, along with the exclusivity of games, drove Sony in such a strong position that now Microsoft is reconsidering pivoting its entire
market
strategy.
That's right.
Due to the right. So you're not thinking that if they have the exact same situation where they have the majority of games that are exclusive that can only be accessed through whatever it is.
Games. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about,
what do you mean? Define majority of games.
I'm talking about anything that has to do with access to Activision games and Microsoft games that they currently have as exclusive.
All right, so you got like 50
those would be the
games.
Things that are cut off, right?
50 some games.
Well, I don't know what's exclusive from what would be under the Activision stuff, because I don't know.
All right,
everything
even if let's
makes.
look. Activision makes a bunch of bullshit, and nobody plays them anyway.
So, but you don't know that, do you? I mean, just because you don't play them doesn't mean other people don't.
I mean, Activision, literally the only thing they got is COD. That's literally the only thing they got going. I'll look it up.
I would say the World of Warcraft group would disagree with you. I would say that the
list of Activision
Overdrop
games from 2020 till now.
Let's see.
Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot, Call of Duty. All right, Call of Duty Warfare 2, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for Sekiro, Crash Bandicoot
Sekiro
4.
that was a huge one.
Yeah, but you compare that to Ghost of Tsushima, it ain't shit. Black Ops Cold War and Ghost of Tsushima is exclusive to Sony. Crash Bandicoot, Tony Hawk, Call of Duty, Crash Team Rumble. So from 2020 till now, they've made Crash Bandicoot and Call of Duty games. Activision. Blizzard was 3 games. 4 games if you count StarCraft. But I don't see how you play that on console. So
I'm games. Sure at some point they will try and figure that out.
It's probably already on console, I just don't know about it. But like, okay, so those are the games in the library that you're worried is going to get cut off.
I'm not worried about that.
I'm not worried about that either, because nobody gives a shit about Tony Hawk's Skater. Nobody gives a shit about that.
No, it's not that. It's
the only thing that matters. The elephant in the room is Warzone, man. That's
my view.
That's
is
the
not
thing.
About the now. My view is about the long-term potential. That is what my argument.
Here's how it would. Warzone would fail before Sony would fail. All right, that's the truth. Because Warzone is an experience that is a certain way, that is different than the other ones. And if they don't produce a good game, and nobody's playing it, that's the problem. So if anything, Microsoft saw a property that is going downhill, right? It's still billions of dollars and shit like that, but it's not nearly the hottest that it was, right? To save it, to make that property something better, something it was supposed to be, I think that's why they bought it. I think they saw this property going downhill, being mismanaged, and they were like, we're gonna buy that shit, make it better, and then give it to everybody for free. Like, that's the important bit.
Okay. If that's what you think, then that's
I mean,
fine.
once again, like, you know, the sky is falling. Oh my goodness. Like, yes, there is a world where some crazy shit could happen, where Microsoft is in the position of telling Sony no. That's not the world we live in.
I think it's the world that you can drive to. That's
It's
all.
not
my
even a
argument.
drive, man. You're in a whole different
think you have
galaxy.
more time.
You're in a whole
I
different
don't
galaxy.
think so.
You
Because
are.
again, if you get to a point where you can start to control access for the majority of a fan base, if you get people to buy into your ecosystem, which Sony has done, but if Xbox can do that, along with exclusivity, you then have leverage to talk
What was
to
that?
other
That would be
developers and be
Urzel.
like, listen, this is going to be an
Who?
exclusive to us.
Urzel
And
is
some
the
of them will tell you
angel
go
who
fuck yourself, some of you
commands
won't.
Malthael's
But the
forces in
more
the
of those
city.
people who
I
start
think
to
he'll
agree to
make them
exclusivity
angry.
for access,
So it appears.
it builds and it
Let us
builds,
return
and
to
then
the
you
Enclave and
have
see what
a lot of
progress
weight behind
Tyrion
it.
has
And
made
at
with
that
this liver.
point, it's too late. You've set the precedence and you can't stop it because they're going to be like, we've done this. You've already tried to tell us that we were a monopoly. The court said we weren't. So now we get to do whatever the fuck we want.
That's
Like
not what's going on, though.
absolutely an outcome that can happen.
Once
That
again,
can.
when? 10 years? 100 years? Like,
I mean,
when?
again, I don't
Tomorrow?
have the information to give you any kind of a timeline. I don't have access to that kind of information. But I mean, if you know, I can't. I don't follow consoles enough anyway. But I mean, there was a point. I want to say, God, what was it? Was it PS2 that just blew Sony out of the fucking water or something? No, not PS2. It was it PS2 that beat the shit out? I don't know. At some point, one of the consoles had a clear advantage in the earlier days, and that absolutely could have been a situation where they would have pressed for the advantage and could have tried to drive them out of business. It's absolutely something that
Drive Sony out of business.
out of the video game business, not the
business.
whole,
Okay.
not the whole business. Like, they don't give a fuck if they make money making TVs. Why would they give a shit about that?
That's
It's only in their competition that they would want to drive them out. They would want to get them to stop making consoles. They wouldn't want them to stop making video games. They just want them to stop making consoles and be like, okay, now make your good video games for our console because we're the only ones who still survive. And now, by the way, we're gonna make this game $100.
And you think that's a drive away?
I think that's a drive away.
Yeah.
What does that? I don't know what that
You
means.
said that term is like it's not that far away from reality. That scenario.
I don't think that scenario is that far away of what could happen. No.
Okay. Okay.
And to your point, though, on the opposite side of that coin, if Sony, I keep saying Sony, if Microsoft genuinely is sick of, like, if they figured out strategically consoles aren't fucking worth it, then this would be.
I don't
mean,
know
I
that.
get it.
That
From a
just
strategic-
from
No,
my outside perspective, knowing what little I know, that's what it looks like. Because
Right,
Game
and I'm
Pass
saying
is
that's
such a good
viable
deal,
possibility.
and it has so many games,
Sure.
right? And them adding Crash Bandicoot to it isn't a big deal to me. But like, if you're looking at the trends of PvP, generally, PvP across the board is going free to play microtransactions. That's just the trend.
Sure, I believe that.
So
Wholeheartedly.
in my mind, the more likely outcome And the more likely hope that Microsoft has is
Oh, we have to
that
go back.
they get COD, and then they're able to, yes, license it to Sony, but more importantly, Warzone stays on Sony, and they get that revenue.
Sure, absolutely. That absolutely could be an approach.
I think that's the more.
I'm not. I'm not arguing that.
Okay.
That.
I'm saying that's more.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Again, it's just more likely. More likely than a tornado happens and
It's
and
not.
Sony
It's not
and
a
Sony is
tornado
like,
act.
we ran out of
Being
microchips,
absolutely.
and Microsoft is like,
One second.
finally,
You don't think for
finally, it has
one
happened.
second?
Finally, twirl the mustache. It has happened. It has
What?
happened. Finally, that moment that I can
What?
turn off the Call of Duty switch on Sony.
Why are you so focused on Call of Duty?
Because that's the only thing that matters in Activision's
Okay.
world, man. I just read you the list of games
Oh my God. Oh, okay. All right.
that
Okay.
Activision produces on its own.
All right.
And it's Crash Bandicoot and Call of Duty. That's it. That's
Okay.
all they make.
Okay. Okay.
No, I actually did read you the list.
I'm not arguing that at all. Not at all.
The money maker. The shake your booty kind of shit. It's Warzone. Ay, ay, ay. Do you want to talk about soccer? Let's talk about soccer.
What's there to talk about?
You guys are looking good now. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Y'all are looking good.
I still think Declan Rice is over.
I don't think he's 105. That's for fucking
I don't think. I think he's been way overhyped. I don't. I think he'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
I don't
I think he's gonna be better than fine. I don't think he's gonna reimagine your team or nothing, but he is a playmaker in midfield, and if anybody called that shit, it was me.
He's not playing midfield.
He's a very good
not. He doesn't even-
defensive.
Sure he is.
So one, he can get that ball, and then he can run with the ball, and then he can pass it to Saka.
He doesn't have that though. That's the problem.
He can do it.
That pass is not there for him yet.
He can do it.
Yeah, okay, well,
I don't know why you poo-poo your own players, man.
I'm being fairly honest about it. I haven't seen Declan Rice play enough that when he tries a cute pass, it doesn't work a lot of
But
the time.
when he tries a real pass, it does work.
I would take Granit Xhaka over him all fucking day, every day.
What do you
if
like
it
about
comes
Xhaka?
down, because he's got that pass. He's got that vision and he's got that pass. He's slow, and he definitely has. Oh my God, Remy, what the fuck?
Where are we going?
Jesus, did you shit on the couch, dog? Christ.
Did
Anyway,
Did your dog shit on the couch?
no, he didn't. But God, it smells like it.
Where are we going? Briar Thorn Cemetery or Survivor's Home?
Seems like,
I'm with
yeah.
you. I'm with you. All right, let me go sell some shit. All right, continue.
No, it just I don't. I think maybe one day he'll get that pass. Hopefully, like that would be a positive thing to happen. But his job in the beginning, I imagine, is he's going to be more of a partay with a little bit more ability to bring the ball forward. His job is going to be to dump that ball off to Odegaard or to Emil Smith Rowe or Kai Havertz, and they're the ones who are going to come up with the cute pass. That's what he's going to do. I got money. The Havertz is going to take.
Don't you need a Rodri?
Sure, we do. I mean,
He's
well,
a
we've got
Rodri.
yes, yeah. I mean, yes.
And
we had
Rodri's pretty
Partey.
fucking good, and Rodri scores the clutch goals, and
Sure, absolutely.
You know,
And
Rodri's got
absolutely.
amazing hold up play, and he's got good passing. Declan Rice ain't
Absolutely.
that far off from Rodri, man. And I love me some Rodri. I
I'm
love
very
me
much
some Rodri.
hoping that he develops his pass better. But right now, in the team that I see him replacing Partey at least in the short term for the next 2 seasons or so, until we find if I don't know if Arteta figures out somebody else needs to go there.
Uh-huh.
But for me, for Xhaka's spot, I see Havertz and Emile Smith Rowe fighting that out, and then Havertz also will back up Saka on the right side. Those are the two things that I see out of Havertz,
Okay.
because he's not going to be defensive midfielder. And then Partey, like I love Partey, but where the fuck are we going?
Beginning of the
Oh,
class.
there we go. But Partey keeps getting hurt, and he fell off a cliff at the end, and he's not getting any younger. And if we can make some money off of him, then
in some manner.
if we got Rice, then fuck it, do it.
He's been gathering strength from the souls of Westmarch.
That's
in
kinda
order
how
to
I see
alter
it.
the stone.
Right now, you're
But
missing
his
a center back.
purpose still eludes me.
Not
He's
like a good
killing
one or anything. You
everyone.
don't need like
What
a
more do
showstopper.
you need to know?
You need a bench.
If we want to stop
You
him,
need
we
another
must know what he is going to
decent
do
center
next.
back, and you need a proper center forward.
Well, the problem that we have.
And you spent $50 million in Gabriel Jesus, by the way.
See, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think everybody's got that wrong about a proper center forward, because I think
Has
Look,
done this to
this
finish
is what I
collecting
think.
the souls of
I think
Westmarch.
that
It is
well
past time
I think
for him to
Arteta's
die.
strategy,
Where is
his
he?
his intention,
All I know
is
that
to
he
make the
is
goals
lethal.
come from everywhere, so you can't shut us down.
I agree. Total
That's
football.
what I think he's doing.
He's
And so he's
absolutely
not-
going for total football.
This is not the
But
right
he's playing
place.
false nine. So
Sure.
the problem with Gabriel Jesus is that one, he's not very good at false nine, and two, what I mean by center forward is someone who's going to be in the box and not fall down and look at the ref immediately.
Well,
He
I
will
don't
actually try
disagree
to
with that.
finish and then fall down and look at the ref. All right,
I won't
like there's a
argue that
massive
sometimes-
difference
sometimes
between
he's
someone like
hilarious.
Mbappe and someone like Gabriel Jesus. Mbappe can fall with the best of them. Jack Grealish can fall with the best of them. You know what I mean? But he's gonna get his try first, and then he's gonna fall and look at the ref.
Sure. I'm not arguing that, but I also think that, again, there's a lot of utility in all of our players.
Yes.
And I think the one thing that Havertz is going to give us that I've been looking for
There's a gun
is
to
if somebody who's fucking tall enough as a front player to actually
that's true.
be able to put a head on a goddamn cross.
You think he's gonna be your number 8?
I think he's going to be an 8, yeah.
Yeah,
But
think he's
I
gonna be
do
your number 8
see
too.
But I do see Arteta, like, in the right time of the game. If we're getting frustrated and passing through them isn't working,
Yeah.
and we got 20 minutes left, I can see him going 9 and just sling fucking shit in the box.
Yeah.
And let him try and get something on the end of it.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see
Like
that
a
being
proper
strategy.
center forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See me now.
Like, I can see him doing that. Right, but we're not
Because you don't trust
sacrificing-
Jesus to do it, man. That's the problem.
He's also too fucking short.
Yeah.
Like, he's not. We don't have height in our front line.
No, he should
That's
be a winger.
definitely a
at
problem we
best.
have.
He should be a winger,
Who?
Gabriel. But the problem is, he's not as good as your 2 wingers.
Well, 3, because I'll tell you what, I always thought that good old Trossard was dick eyes.
I love Trossard,
That was
man.
fucking
Oh,
good.
he
Oh, I know,
depressed
but
the
I-
shit out of me during World Cup. I love him. I love all the
He's
French
so
players.
annoying. Like, if he's on the, he's that guy. If he's
Yeah.
on the other team, God, he's a prick.
Yeah.
But if he's on your team,
You love him.
it's alright. He's a prick.
Yeah. He's our
Like,
prick. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, no, and no shit. I mean, yeah, he only scored 1 goal, but Jesus Christ, for 6 months, he had so many assists
Yeah.
and so many close ones. He did almost get us over the line against God.
Yeah.
Who was it?
He's
Somebody we were down 3-3. I think it was Bournemouth. We were tied 3-3, and he pinged it off of that top
Yeah.
bar, and it was a hell of a shot. It's just unlucky, but that's the other thing I like about him is that, you know what, at some point, like, until recently, we didn't have bitches who would pull the trigger when we needed to, right?
Sure.
Like, you get to a point and you've been passing it around for a while, and at some point you just got to be like, you know what, somebody's got to
time.
fucking take
Yeah.
a chance,
Yeah.
and he'll do it, and I like that. I like that about him.
Yeah.
I like him taking that chance and being like, you know what? I had an open shot. I apologize for nothing. I damn near did it. Like, fuck you. And I mean, that's why I think that's part of why Odegaard got so many goals, is because Like he did towards the end of the season. I don't think he did in the first half, but towards the back half of the season, I think he very much got to a point where he was like, "Ain't nobody fucking pulling the trigger. Like I'm gonna take it."
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like I definitely think he did that, and that's why he got them goals, which is good. Now, what I don't like, and what I find to be extremely disrespectful, and
Is
it's
what they're
these.
doing to David De Gea.
Well, I don't know what they're doing to David De Gea, but I mean, I'm sure they're. I don't know why everybody shits on De Gea. Like, yeah, he's got an error in him, but Jesus Christ, how much has he saved your fucking
He's getting
asses?
old and he's not a modern keeper. That seems to be the thing.
I mean, that's fine, but
He's
you
not
can,
good with
you
his
can,
feet in a league where you need to be good with your
right,
feet.
right, but you can say that and still respect him. Like
I
I
agree.
will say 100%. Like I was glad when we saw Burn Leno because he wasn't going to do what Arteta said, and I absolutely agree with that. And he didn't fit the mold, and that's fine. But if anybody says, you know, what do you think about Burn Leno as a keeper? I'm like, that motherfucker is good.
Yeah.
Like he will stop the ball.
Yeah.
Like there's no argument there. I don't shit on Burn Leno. Now, what I do make fun of him about is the thing that pissed me off when he was our keeper, which is the motherfucker can't control the box for shit. And the hilarity that when we beat Fulham in the beginning half of the season, it was because Burn Leno went for a ball and fucking whiffed it. And I was like, yep, that's the Burn Leno I know. That shit made me laugh. And I think I said to you too, I said, watch this. I was like, it'll be hilarious if that motherfucker like fucks this corner up and we get a goal. And sure enough, that's dead on what happened. And it's so funny because like they tried to get a handball out of it and it literally hit Saliba in the side of the face. Like he was like, I can't believe the goalie missed this and I was not prepared. I got slapped in the face with it.
Do you want to hear about David De Gea or not?
Yeah, tell me about it.
All right.
Sorry.
So, United went to De Gea. Now, here's the part that I'm not 100% sure about. When they went to De Gea with a new contract, I don't know, but they offered him a year extension, right? He signed it 2 days ago and turned it in, but they were like, "Nah, we're good. We're not gonna sign our half of the contract, so we're gonna look for a new keeper." So here's the rub. If he got it, I don't know, 4 months ago, and didn't sign until now, and then signs it, and United is in a very different place than it was 6 months ago, especially concerning David De Gea, FA Cup. But like,
Sure.
they don't want him anymore. So people are saying it's disrespectful because he's been there for like 14 fucking years or some shit, and he don't deserve to get played like that. But I'm of the I don't know what position I fall into, because once again, if he was sitting on the contract thinking he was going to get a better offer somewhere else and that just didn't pan out, and then he signs it,
Didn't
and
see
then
that coming.
United
did you?
is like, nah, I'm good. That's different than they handed it to him a week ago, he signs it, and then they're like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean?
My stance on this, and
All
I
right,
am
this is
not
your
a
hot
lawyer.
take. Go ahead. What's your hot take?
Okay, my hot take is
There you go.
is
It is done. bloodline
I will
of
fall
Rackets will
down
once again
on the
sit on
stipulation
throne of West
of what is
March.
stated in the
And I
contract as the
suppose that would
offer
be
is good
you,
through.
of course.
Period.
My grandmother
So if
was
he
the
if
daughter
he
of
got it 4
Cornwall.
months ago
They
and
would not claim
they
her
said the
because she was
offer is
born
good
of a
for 6
courtesan,
months,
not a queen.
then I
With the
absolutely
peasants
you're
supporting
doing him
me,
dirty
West
because he's
March will
well
become
within
a
his
place of
rights
freedom and
to in the
equality.
contract
The
and the
idle
stipulation
rich
was
will be
presented
no
to him
more.
to take that
Of
time.
course, there will be some
And it doesn't matter if you like
But
he
there's
took it or
two
not.
parties to the contract. And if United
Right,
didn't
but
sign, there is no
no,
contract. It doesn't matter how
but
much you
that's
make.
what I'm saying though. From a legal standpoint, when they present if they present an offer and they say it's good till, like we're not, it's not the States. Oh my God, what did you do? Did you just leave me in here by myself?
The door closed.
I think you did.
You were talking.
You did. You.
I took some with me.
That's fine. Good job. No, but and again, I don't know how offers work. If it is a situation like a, let's say, what is it called? Free to work, free to hire, whatever it is that we do here in Virginia.
At will.
Yeah, there you go. That's the
Yeah.
one. If it's an at will and it's just basically,
Well, it's not.
we put it
It's
in front of
contract.
you.
It's contract. It's not
And-
at will. At will says that I can leave anytime I want to, and you can fire me for anytime you want to.
Right, but
That's
if an
not what
offer
they,
is
they have a contract which states you can fire me under these conditions, or I can leave under
Right.
these conditions.
right, but my point would be like I can. So if we're in an at will state and I get an offer, right, I can and I accept it and then I leave. There are people who do and can sue if that is rescinded.
There's three parts to a contract. There's the offer.
Yes.
Hey, you want to buy my car?
No.
There's the
I
acceptance.
agree with
Hold
you.
on. There's
You
the
said-
acceptance. Yeah, I want to buy your car. And there's the consideration, which is here's money for my car. Right? So if there's no consideration, you don't have a contract, even if both people sign. If you never gave me money and I never gave you a car, then we don't have a contract because we never had consideration.
Right. And so this isn't a realm that I'm not
Luckily, you
involved
know
in.
me,
I'm
Rosebud.
just
I
merely
got you.
pointing out a situation
I have
where
come to realize that my
if
personal
the
feelings
offer
are of
was
no
brought to them
consequence.
and they
But
said,
people
"Hey,
are dying,
tell
and
us
they
within the
need
next
their
6 months
king.
what you
Our
think,"
resistance starts
and he's
today,
operating
and
off
Winton
of
all
that.
people
the assumption
has
that he's
provided
got that
the
time
means.
frame,
Yes,
These
I agree.
reapers shall not
then
have
you've done him
Westmarch.
dirty.
I
Yeah.
swear my life
if
on it.
that was never stipulated and they were like, "Here's your offer, take it or leave it," and then you're 4 months later you come back and you're like, "All right, I've decided to take it." Well, you sat
slept.
on the pod too
Yeah.
long. That's
Yeah.
on your own.
Yeah.
So I'm not. It's like that information is what I would need to be able to give my honest opinion. But I would side with whoever it is was the most reasonable in the situation.
Okay.
I can't
What
join
was your
the
hot
others
take?
until they have finished their work.
Whose side are you on? That's the hot take. Who
I mean, from an optics perspective, it's kind of shitty looking for
for your 14-year veteran who's world class, who won a
Well,
World
yeah, that's what I
Cup,
said.
who's
It's
won
shitty on-
fucking Champions League, who's won
Yeah.
the league title, who's won FA
Yeah.
Cup, who's won Carabao Cup.
Yep.
He's probably got more trophies than anybody else on that team.
Oh.
And they're not gonna let him
My
retire with
master
them.
has begun his
Yeah,
work
that's.
on
I mean, you did him
Sora.
dirty.
Nothing that
I
was
agree.
then
The
matters.
optics is dirty. You did
Yeah.
him dirty.
And now you're gonna go to Inter Milan,
Soon
and you're gonna
demons
go
gone
to
like
get
you,
Onana,
gone forever.
and now United's gonna kind of be scary if they go.
Well, it's gonna be really funny if you. I mean, right now you.
I'm like,
There's
bro,
no guarantee about fucking.
I'm like De
United.
Gea needs to stay at United.
Dude, there's no, right now the way that people are responding to United's like request to like have them,
Uh huh.
like they're not winning a whole lot of these competitions.
They're not.
They're
in
not
Champions
that
League.
attractive.
The difference between Arsenal and United right now, Champions League, honey. Welcome to it.
Well, that and I mean,
That's why
Listen,
Rice
you
came.
can make
That's
fun
why
of it.
Havertz came.
sure, but yeah, absolutely, Champions League is definitely a
Yeah.
thing to it. But also, like, let's be fair about this.
Excuse me.
Arteta has more trophies than a lot of other fucking managers, and he's only been doing it for 3 years. He at least has an FA Cup. There's a ton of those coaches in Premier League who've been doing this for 15 years and have no FA Cup. Like, he's proven he's capable of winning a thing. Now, I think something that he will eventually get better at is learning how to juggle the season with competitions, because he has it. I mean, the team isn't built really to support the way he wants to do it, but he's proven that like he struggles if he struggles staying in multiple competitions currently.
Because you got no bench. See, my real
You got
question
no
is,
bench.
how is he going to do with a team that isn't 13 guys? Like,
I mean,
how is he
that's a
going to
great
really going to train 22 individuals and bring them together so that they're interchangeable pieces, like what Pep's doing?
I mean, that's a great question, to
Because
be
that's what
perfectly
makes Pep,
honest.
in my opinion. Like, yes, Pep can develop a player, and Declan Rice not going to City. I don't know.
Well,
like
but,
Arteta's
I
going to be good
mean-
for him. Don't get me wrong. Arteta's a great squad. Arsenal's a great place to grow up. It's going to be fucking awesome for him. But he ain't Pep. You ain't gonna develop like I mean, look at Gundy coming in, and then look at Gundy leaving. Look at Bernardo Silva coming in. Look at Bernardo leaving. If he leaves, look at Mahrez. Look at Mahrez. Look at Stones. Look at all of them.
To be
man.
fair, Mahrez was kind of a badass, like when they sold him.
And now he's even badder ass.
Sure, he is.
All of them. They're like all of them are so much more. They all went Super Saiyan last season. And my fear is
I need to go back.
that one, I don't know if the hunger's there, you know. Two, like we're making good moves. I like the moves that we're making. You know, I think that Kovacic is going to be a great kind of.
I think Kovacic was a good decision. I agree.
I think he's going to be a. See, I don't know if he's going to take that Gundogan role, but I hope he does. I hope he becomes that active midfielder, kind of run to the box kind of guy that Gundy was.
Yeah, no, Kovacic is a pain in the ass, but
yeah,
I mean, I have to admit
he's good. D,
Like,
he's good. He's good on the press. He's all around pretty good.
No,
This-
what you should fear, and you probably do to some degree, but what you should fear
to finish off.
is
You have
the
saved
emotional
Westmarch,
release
my friend.
that just happened,
But we're
and
no
then
closer to
you should
knowing
also
Malthael's
fear
ultimate plan,
Pep getting
and he
bored.
grows stronger
Those
each
those
passing
would be the
moment.
two things. If I were a City fan, I would be worried about for the next or in the next 3
She
years.
can help.
Pep
Is
isn't
it
going
the
to go
next
past
time-
27. I already know that.
Huh?
He extended his contract to 27 and then he's out. We know we're
Yeah.
losing him at 27.
Okay,
So-
I mean, because that would be my fear is that you. So then, what
Once
that
we
would
lose
tell
Pep,
me
we're not
is you've
City
got
anymore. I don't know what happens.
2 more years where you're definitely going to have a draw on people coming,
Yeah.
and then I can tell you 26 is going to be up. I don't know, and then 27 is going to definitely be.
I know how to
I don't
find
know what
Malthael,
people are going to
but
do,
you will
but
not like
you're
what
not
I
going to
have
have
to tell you.
the Pep.
That
No.
does
Bit.
not matter.
So
I mean, he might want to go out in a
person
blaze of
who
glory,
knows
so
how
I'm
to
not going to
find
discount Pep.
Malthael.
His want
She
to win
waits for you
everything
in the blood
is
marsh.
stronger.
well, he
than-
has
Well,
now.
than
That's
you,
that's my point.
Yeah, but now he wants more. He
Adrian.
wants to go down
Well, sure.
as the greatest of all
He-
time.
He's not gonna. I mean, he's not gonna stop doing everything he can
No.
to be successful while he's there. Like that's not what I'm suggesting at all. What I am suggesting though is that he is going to, like, at some point he's going to
You're
walk
not
away.
going anywhere without
Well, yeah.
And now
I'm
that he's
27.
won
Oh,
Champions
really?
League with
And why
Manchester
is
City,
that?
like he definitely is
Someone
going
has
to
to
keep
make
trying to
sure
win
you
it.
don't
Like
kill Adria
he's
before
not a
you
one
find
and
out
done.
where
He's going to try and
Malthael
win
is.
it every year
I
until
shall
he leaves.
try to restrain
But-
myself,
But
make no mistake.
the point is he is going to leave, and your appeal is going to drop the closer that becomes real. Depending
Unless
on
he names a suitor, you know what I mean?
sure, unless he
an
names
heir.
a successor.
Which it could be Vincent Company. It could be by that time. I don't know. Vincent Company is
I have
probably
delivered
my
the
choice
city
right
of
now
Westmarch from Urzin
because
and his reapers.
it would just be
The
fucking
people
awesome.
are now free to rebuild their
I mean, that's
It would
fair.
just be fucking awesome to have him
There's
go
nothing wrong
from
with
like
that.
Lorath and
the
I depart
guy,
for the Blood Marsh
one
to
of my
find
favorite
Adria.
players,
She,
to
of
the
all
coach
people,
and
knows
have
how to
him
locate
hopefully be
Malthael.
successful. But I think
I
what
will
Pep
take
did
great joy
the
in
smartest
extracting that
with-
information before I
with
kill her.
City is he built the infrastructure of it.
Yeah,
City
absolutely.
City can run without Pep. That's my belief. Like the tactics side, yeah, I don't know about that. But as far as the infrastructure of City, City is now built like a Real Madrid. We're built better than Barcelona by a long fucking shot. We're built better than Bayern Munich. I mean, our infrastructure is strong. The only other team in Europe that I can see that its roots go as deep as City does right now is Real Madrid and like the Barcelona academies and that kind of shit. And like Pep already said he's going to retire to the Barcelona academies. And once that
I mean, that
happens,
makes
that's
complete
Barcelona's going to
sense.
be unstoppable for the next 20 years because all of their young players will be coached by Pep Guardiola. It's
Sure.
fucking insane. Insane.
No, absolutely.
Black
But that's,
Soul
I mean,
still
that
in
should,
deepest
like I said,
part
if I
of
were
the
you,
Nephilim
that would
ruins
be
near
the
here.
fear
Yeah.
I would have.
Once we
But
lose
is
Pep,
he
I don't know
safe?
what kind of team we're going to be.
But Malthael found it
But once
easy.
again, for me, it's not like, do I want to win trophies or do I want my team to win trophies? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do I
Sure.
love winning the treble? Absolutely. Do I think the race between us and
The first
Arsenal was
time I
amazing?
saw a witch,
Absolutely.
she burned.
Like I love the race.
Father took me to the
And as
town
long as we're
square to
in the
see it.
competitions, I'm a
Look,
happy
he
boy.
said,
I don't need to like
"That
next year we could win
is
none
the
of them,
face of evil."
right?
Right.
We could just
She
fall on
looked
our
like any
faces
other
and not win
woman,
anything.
and to burn
But if
like
we try
anything
hard
else.
and we're there and we're playing the
Then
games we
flames
play,
engulfed her.
I want
Sure.
her.
Her eyes found mine.
If we're playing our game.
Yeah, no. It's
If it turns out to be like what we did to Real Madrid and all of a sudden it's a 1-5 aggregate and we get just destroyed, yeah, we're gonna have to redo something.
oh yeah.
The one
No,
I'm-
but what I'm afraid of for you,
Hmm.
and this is just my experience with
Where are you?
I'm coming to catch you. This is my experience with everybody else and how they all treat their coaches that are going out.
Uh-huh.
Like, I hope to hell that your fans are grateful. That's all I'm gonna say, because
This is the entrance
especially
to the
towards
tomb.
the end, like,
Someone's
yes,
collapsed it.
Wenger was
Our
not doing well,
friend,
and yes, we wanted Wenger
Adria.
retired.
It looks
And
like we'll have to find
yes,
another way
they
into the
wanted
ruins.
Wenger to go.
What was that?
And that's fair. But the way that they went about trying to get people to do that, it was fucking shitty. And if you try and do that to Pep, like, and they will, because there's always some idiots who, whatever their fucking mentality is, they're gonna say some stupid shit. But that would be
Who's
to
they?
me, that's the fans,
Oh, I see.
the fans, because they're gonna
You think
be
the
like,
fans
he's
are
not
gonna
good
turn on
enough.
him?
Huh? Oh yeah,
They're not gonna turn
yeah.
on
If you guys start losing,
This was just
like
one
they've got
entrance to
the
city.
they've got the
The
memory of a
guides filmed
fucking
littered across
goldfish,
the
and no
blood
matter
marks
how
that
many
lead us to
trophies
the
you
main
got
gate.
him,
The guides
there will
found
be a
you first and
subsect
most.
who will be like,
You
"Thanks for
revealed
your
the
time. Now
character
get the
path
fuck
to
out."
the
And that's
first
literally how they're gonna say
I mean,
it.
yeah, we
And
were
I'm like, that's
league,
fucked up.
but there are so many. If our fans were like that,
Nothing
which I
will
don't
keep
think
me
the
from
fan
ending
base is
your
like
life,
that. I think.
Adrian.
I mean, I hope not, but they've done it in every other team.
Yeah.
Every other team has a group that does that shit to their
But like
coaches.
we've had so many heartbreakers, so many ones that we were winning, and then we lost.
Sure.
You know, that if they were gonna fire him, if this was gonna be like a Chelsea kind of situation or like a fucking Everton, you know, and just grind through fucking managers and shit,
Right.
it would have been years ago.
Oh
years
yeah,
ago.
no, I'm not talking about your ownership. I'm talking about the way your fans
Yeah, that's what I'm saying
make
too.
talk when the time comes.
I think Tuchel got fired because of the fans. I don't think it was.
I don't agree with that at all. I think
I think that
Tuchel's an
Tuchel
ass.
came out
My
and
father could never
did the best he
understand.
could with the shit he had.
I agree with that. I
And
absolutely agree
The fact
with
that they
that.
fired Tuchel blows my fucking mind because Tuchel's like an amazing manager. And I think it was just this. It's like the ultras in PSG. Did you hear these stories about like Neymar and Messi and what they were going through in Paris? The ultras are like their super squad of fucking
Oh, the ones who showed up at their house or some
super
shit?
fans. Yeah, they showed up at their house. They're like, "You suck. We don't want you on the team anymore." And what happened? Neymar's probably not going to be on the team anymore. Messi's probably not going to be on the team anymore. One of the reasons I think Mbappe is like literally thinking about leaving and going to Real Madrid is because he realizes the ultras have more control over the club than he does. To be
I mean, well, yeah, I was gonna say, let's be honest,
like, not so much
he's
the
got way
owner,
too
but
much
like
fucking power as it
more
is, but-
power than Mbappe has. And like him going to Real Madrid, ooh, damn, that's a dangerous team now. And let's just review.
I mean, I don't.
Cover me
I mean,
for a second. Cover me
we'll
for a
see. I think. I mean,
Let's
again,
just
the
review.
problem.
I have chose Real Madrid. You have chose Real Sociedad
That's right.
for your teams. So if Mbappe, and I don't think he'd go this summer, but maybe in January, fingers crossed. If he goes there, Vinicius, him, Modric, Bellingham, I'm getting hard just thinking about it. You got a super sub in Modric who's teaching Bellingham like everything he fucking knows. He just signed his contract. You got the Caravanga and the Caraval in the back, and they're just doing their shit. Oh, it's such a beautiful squad.
I mean, I hope so. I will say this though: there is a scenario where that goes poorly
for
because
City, oof, I know.
no. No, for Real, because I think to some degree you have to acknowledge that Mbappe probably doesn't know how to not be the star. And I think when he goes to Real, I think Vinicius Jr. will
It's
challenge
Vinicius'
him.
team now. There's no
Right,
way it's
and-
not Vinicius' team.
Right, and if
he
that's the
walks in
case,
thinking it's not Vinicius'
and
team, yeah,
that is
I
where
agree.
you might
Those
have a
egos.
problem.
Those egos. And
That's-
here's the
that's
real
where
problem
you
with
got-
both Vinicius and Mbappe. They don't really press and they don't really work hard off the ball. And they save all that energy for that spurt, and they're geniuses once they get it. And Vinicius showed in Champions League this year, Vinicius fucked us up.
Nothing happens
him,
when I approach.
he fucked us up in that
Allow
first
me.
game. So
There
if
are 4
Mbappe
entrances
can
to the
grow
Netherlands
up,
city.
he's still
Each one
23,
ends
he's
with
still
a
young,
sigil.
he's still got that
Only the
thing.
correct one marks
But if
the
he
true
can,
entrance to the
if he
tomb,
can do what
When you
Vinicius
activate
did,
these
which
stones,
is grow
one
the
of the
fuck
walls
up
reveals
and
this
take it
Hold on 1
serious,
second.
then I think it'd be okay. But it is all chance. I don't think he's leaving. Who's going this way? What is this? The Putrid Howl.
All right, sorry. Katie was calling. I didn't answer. Oh, ouch.
If he can grow
No,
up
you're
in
not
Madrid,
wrong, but
because
that's,
here's the thing,
like-
with Mbappe in Paris, he's a Paris kid.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
He's
I mean,
great.
he went from Monaco to PSG.
Sure.
He's
Absolutely.
a World
I'm
Cup
not
winner on his
disagreeing
own.
with that. I'm just saying that there is something to team cohesion.
I agree.
And there is a definite situation where if things go badly, then you will have a cohesion issue with all that
I
talent
agree.
together.
What do you think about speaking of that specifically? What do you think about Mason Mount going to Tottenham?
Is that happening?
I think it was Mount. It was either Mount or Madison. I couldn't
No,
remember.
that was Madison who just went.
Yeah, Madison.
Yeah, he just got signed for 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about right.
But now you're gonna
that
lose
sounds
Harry
like
Kane,
perfect.
Are you okay
That
with
sounds
that?
actually like a do what?
Are you worried that Harry Kane's gonna leave
God, I hope so.
and go to Bayern?
I hope he goes.
Let's see who you have in the German league. I have Lipzig. That much I know. But now that they might lose their center back to City, I might change my mind.
No, I'm
One of the
very
main
much
reasons I chose
hopeful.
Lipzig was because they had that dude at center back, and now that he's going to City, I'm like, well, that's good for me, but bad for me. Let's see. I chose Lipzig. You chose Bayern Leverkusen. Bayern Leverkusen
right.
should be pretty good. I hope you're keeping
That's where
track
Jack
of this.
is
because
going. So that's my reason.
we're gonna start quiz Jake on the
Putrid Hovel.
on the other
Where?
leagues.
Hold on. All right, what is this? Wild Wind Passage. Huh. I don't
Really,
know
we
which
only have to watch like 2 games apiece, right? In the other leagues. My game and your game. And twice, those games are going to be the same game, so we only got to watch it once.
Sure. Okay, let's go back to the hovel. Let's go in there and see. what's in there.
Can I
Don't die. There's a gold guy down here.
die?
Garship the Slayer. No, I want Harry Kane to go for one very, very simple reason. And it's not that I fear him, because fuck him, we've beaten Tottenham the last couple times.
He's a very
Their
good
shit
striker.
show.
If
Their
he
shit
was
show
if he was
anyway.
in Arsenal, you guys would have won the title.
Oh no, I did tell my friend Six though, for my own hilarity. I would find it funny that Levy doesn't let him go this summer, and then he leaves on a free. And I told him, I was like, I would try and get him just so that he can give Levy the finger.
He'd never.
that
he'd
would
never,
literally be
he'd
the
never
only
go to
reason why I
Tottenham.
want
He'd
it.
never go to Arsenal.
No, I know, but that's
the
why it would
only
be
way
funny.
Harry Kane. I don't think Harry Kane plays in England if he doesn't play for Arsenal. Not Arsenal, for Tottenham.
No, you're
I think
probably
that's
not wrong.
probably why the Bayern
Well,
Munich deal was so.
I
is so
don't know,
tempting.
man. I don't know. I mean, Harry Maguire doesn't even play, and he still plays in the England team. So you never not quite know. Like, let's.
Harry Maguire is the best thing that ever happened to United. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
watch your mouth.
absolutely. For that 80 million.
I just learned the story behind that. It was City that ran up the price.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I
But
love
that
it.
is the one thing I will have to give City credit for, and I appreciate it. Now, granted, they're in a financial situation where,
The
or
same
they're, let
as
me rephrase,
yours, yeah.
not a financial. They are in a team situation where they can act this way, but I still support it. I love the fact that they were like, you know what, West Ham, we gave you a decent price. Like they didn't try and fuck them.
No,
They came in and they were like, here's 90.
this is
And
more than
West
what
Ham
they
was like,
offered.
fuck you, bidding war.
Yeah,
And they were
they're
like, we're not
"Nah."
doing that. And they left. And that's, I respect
One
that.
of the like tinfoil hat things is that Arteta called up Pep and was
Oh,
like
I know.
put in an offer that's
It was
near
on
ours.
Talk Sport,
Yeah,
some bullshit.
that
I was like,
lady.
get the fuck out of here. If anything, I would have thought he'd have called and been like, dude, don't put in shit. And then we're going to be the only ones bidding on it. Like, that would have made far more sense to me than.
Well, it's still not
Then the
final,
bullshit
final.
that-
I mean, it's final, but it's not final because you guys haven't agreed to terms. Like, yeah, the price
No,
is
I
good,
mean-
but how he's going to get that money is everything to him right now.
I mean, my personal opinion, and I already told Six, like, it would
You know
not
what
destroy
fear
me
is.
if we don't get him this year.
Fear of who you
And then
are.
I would love to just look
Fear
at
of
fucking
what
West
your
Ham in the
own
face
blood would
when they
do
have to
if they
sell him
knew
for
what you
50 million next
No,
year because that
could
bitch has got
never
1 year left, and
understand it.
because it's an
People
extension,
look to you
and
as
he's
a
gonna hate
savior.
him.
There's no
because
way
they
West
fucking
Ham is
made
going
him
to
do
do
that.
that. And
Lives you've
one, he
taken.
wouldn't
No,
hate
they're
West
not
Ham.
gonna do that. But this is
Like
this is
this
just
is
me
their
enjoying
chance.
a
And like if he
concept.
was legit, if he really loved West Ham, he'd be like, yeah, I'm $100 million player. He would, because what that
I don't think
does,
that's
it
his
gives them the
problem.
money to hopefully bring that team back.
No, but that's my point. He did. But if they come back and they're like, we told you 120, and Arsenal walk away because now you have a second, like, the best thing that City did, in my opinion, for that is validate that he's not 100 million. That
Yeah,
he
that's
is
why,
below
That's why
that.
everybody thinks Arteta said something.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because I think Pep definitely.
I think Pep would have ran up the price. You know, like, I think Pep would have been like one, but Pep didn't want him. That's the problem. So it was
No, I
It
agree.
was careful. He had to be
I
super
think he would have been a
careful
good, like, he would have been a good backup, but
I think
mean, like
if we
I
got
said
him at that
before-
price, we would have been happy. But we're not going to go above that price.
sure.
Yeah.
But no, my big thing was I just, again, West Ham's got a number in their head, and now they've had their bidding war, quote unquote, right? They
He
had
can walk away
competition,
from his yacht feeling like superior to every businessman out there.
right? And
made
if
his
they
deal.
push back this third bid, I do hope we walk away. I really do, because you know what? At some point, even if you want a player, you need to make a stand and say, you know what, we're not going to be fucking bent over.
See, I don't think Arsenal can do it now. I don't think Arsenal.
They
can walk
absolutely
away.
can.
They can.
I think they can.
Okay, they can, but I don't think they could, because
I-
right now that would be like Santa coming back and taking the presents away from you that you thought
Well,
you were
but
gonna
I don't
have,
think
like,
so.
Did you?
another kind of squad that could go toe to toe with City, which is what you're building.
Sure.
And then to all of a sudden take that away because he's just playing around. I think you get the. I think you at this point.
No.
you get
What
the
I'm
deal done.
saying is, if West Ham get greedy, and because I've
Yeah.
heard stories about this dude that, like, if he wants something,
Yeah.
like he won't if he doesn't get it, he's not doing whatever. Like he's got Levy in him,
Yeah.
which is fine. And what I'm saying is, if that's the case, like, and I know that some parts of the fan base are just gonna be little dicks and whatever, but I think you made your 100 million. I think City walked away. I think it's a fair price. I think it's actually an overstated price, but that's neither here nor there.
I think it's way more than they asked for.
Yeah, and I think that if he turns it down and tries to get more, and you walk away, I think you are wholeheartedly justified amongst the average fan that you did your best and that these motherfuckers were trying to bend you over.
See, I
and
don't
you
think you're
weren't
the
happy.
average fan. I think you're the biased one who didn't really want him to come anyway because he thought he was overrated.
No. I think there are fans out there who are reasonable about like expenditures. Now, there are definitely a lot who just, and it does drive me nuts. Like everybody seems to just think that these fucking clubs have an open checkbook. Even City doesn't have 500 million to spend every goddamn season to buy everybody at everybody's asking price every single season.
No. What
Like, you
City's
can't
really
do
good
that.
at though is finding good deals like Gundy. Gundy was a
Sure.
$20 million character, and look at what he did for us. You know?
Absolutely.
Like we find really good talent that nobody else can find. We grow
Sure.
our own, and when we have to spend $100 million,
Sure.
we go out immediately and we get the deal done. And I think
Sure.
that's the problem that Arsenal is having is the fact that like it doesn't seem on the pitch and off that you can close the deal.
See, and I think that's an unfair assessment,
Not from the City point of
but
view.
that's fine. Well, fuck City perspective, but no, like the thing with Rice, like anybody who says why didn't we just walk up and hand them money,
No.
I
I think there's a
don't think
negotiation.
no matter
I think
what-
I think there's a back and forth. I think this is appropriate. But
no,
like,
not only that, but I genuinely think until City got in there, we could have probably walked in with anything short of 200 million, and he still would have been like, no, because I'm gonna wait for City to come in and see what they do. They wanted the bidding war. That's what
again,
they.
Arteta was like, dude, can you give him this fucking bidding war so we can get this shit over with? And City's like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, right. Yeah. That's definitely it.
I
But
mean, the more I say it, the more plausible it sounds. Because everything that needed to happen for Arsenal to get this guy at a reasonable price
I would say it's not reasonable.
happened for them. And Arteta and Pep off
Yes.
the pitch are busty
I mean, that's
buddies,
fine,
man.
but at the
They are
same
Barcelona
time,
buds.
This isn't new behavior from Pep though.
No.
They have in the last several seasons.
Well, it is in the fact that
Like
he
somebody
did try
just
to
listed
screw
it off.
y'all.
They've gone in for somebody, been like, "This is what we'll pay for them," and people were like, "We want more," and they're like, "Fuck it," and left.
Yeah,
Like
because
this is not new behavior.
City is used to being when you walk in, when City walks into the into the conference room, the prices
Right.
go up by 10%,
Sure, they do,
right?
or
It's just
or more.
more, you know, or it's just the way it goes. You add 10K on top of every sentence in the contract, and there you go.
Sure.
So they've become very good at discerning who's fucking around with them, who's
Right.
got real shit.
Sure,
who they
but I
really
mean
need.
that like
But
I
once
understand.
again, we're going after this guy from Litzbig, the center back from Litzbig,
Sure.
for $100 million. Like that's
a lot.
nothing to sneeze at. And then we just
No.
dropped
Didn't see that
fucking
coming, did
what
you?
was it for Kovic?
I
Like
can't pick up
60?
anything else.
I think that's right.
Like holy fuck. But
No,
like,
but yeah, I mean, yeah. Like I said, the only thing that shits on the theory that sounds like fun, and I get it. It's fun to conceptually believe that this happened, but the reality is that City have gone in after multiple players like this and been like, this is what we're willing to pay. We missed one. It's down this way. And then they were like, no, we're gonna put you in a bidding war, and City said, fuck you, I'm leaving.
yeah,
And that absolutely has happened a bunch of times recently.
yeah. But they also have a habit of saying we don't want to get in a bidding war. Here's
Right.
Jack Grealish money. Give me
Right.
Jack Grealish.
Right.
I can't
Well,
carry anymore.
Jack's a little different though, because Jack's was a release clause.
Well, yeah.
So
that's
there was no
Yeah,
no bidding
there-
war.
there
There
was
was a
no
number, and it was a legal number, just like
Yeah.
we did with Partey.
yeah.
Like I guess we tried to negotiate with Atletico, and they weren't having it, and so I guess it's a little fuck you. We waited till the day before and then walked up because the way that it works in Spain is the release clause purchase is handled by. Are you gonna come here?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
The release clause purchase is handled by the FA, right? So the deal is, listen, show up with the FA with
And
the release
every
clause
player
cash in
in
hand.
Spain has to have
That's
a
right,
release clause in their contract. Now
Yeah.
that number can be whatever you want it to be,
right?
but
there
it
has
must
to
be
one.
in there. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Right. So the point is that when I said we fucked with Atletico Madrid, it's because they literally waited till the last day at the last minute and showed up and were like, all right, here's the money for his release cost, fucking give it to us. And then Atletico was like, fuck you, you just took one of our best players and we got no time to replace him. And we were like, well, should have
Sucks to be
fucking
you.
negotiated better than dickhead. Like that was
Yeah.
that's literally how that went down. Because they
Yeah.
couldn't stop it. Like they couldn't say no. It's the Spanish league. There's no negotiation. There's no delay. There's no nothing. You just show up and be like, "Fuck you."
I forget
Here's
who
the money.
did that to somebody. Somebody. I
It
think
was in Spain. Whoever it was.
I think it was when.
I can't pick up anything else.
Think on it. Hold on. I got too much shit. There's gold stuff on the ground.
Yes.
I think it was Liverpool did that to a team where what they did is they went in and they activated the release clause, but then they didn't bid on the player. They just activated it so other teams could come in and bid on the player.
Right.
I was like, fuck, that's dirty.
I mean, I thought it was funny with whoever it was, the striker from Liverpool, Luis Suarez, and I guess his like release clause was 30 million,
I can't carry
and we
anymore.
showed up with 30 million and $1,
Maybe
and
that
Liverpool
was
told us
it.
to go fuck ourselves.
Maybe that was the story.
Like that's the running joke with that. What that one is, I don't know why we did it, but apparently for some reason, Arteta was like, "Fuck you, we're this is how this is gonna happen."
Lorath, this is as far
Hold
as you
on
go.
a second, I'm finishing up
We
some
will speak
work.
again when it is finished.
Work.
You're going to
Yes.
kill her, aren't you?
I'm just uploading some
I know
files, man.
what I need to do.
Yeah,
They're all
it happens.
counting on you.
No, no. Good on
But it's
you.
more of if I do this now, that means I basically have the next 3 days off of work. So
Sweet. So you're gonna be able to play tomorrow?
probably I gotta check my
Tell me,
meetings and see what's going on.
Thursday?
Yes. Why are you thinking? Okay, there's the CSV. But yeah, I mean, this is I needed to load these rules, which
I'm just
I'm almost
warming up.
done. And then I need to check what's my schedule like tomorrow? I got a one-on-one
Nicely
with my
done.
boss. Yeah, nope, I got nothing on the calendar.
Alright, so what time are you gonna start? Oh, and Summer Sale starts tomorrow? I'll call you.
The what does?
Summer Sale. I'll call you around like 9:30.
I mean, I'm hoping that we can finish this tonight so that we can put
I
the
need
upload to
arcane
bed
power.
and be done with it. I can't imagine it's that long because it is just a DLC. That's what
I cleaned half of it actually, so.
I know. I'm behind you doing the other half you didn't clean.
My bags are full.
God damn it, I gotta go back to town.
I need to go back.
That's fine. I'm with you.
I think what I hear about Harry Kane is that he is probably not for sale this season, in the hopes that they can build a team around him. That way he'll sign a new contract.
Yeah, I think that's not happening.
I think that is so out. Like what?
Well, I
Let
get
the
it.
man
So
go and get some fucking trophies and not have to grind it out with you fuckers.
I just want to get
Who
rid of
don't
that's
care about
that's
the
what
game.
he's gonna try and do, though. He's gonna try and play on the fans. Because while I will shit on Harry Kane for as many things as I possibly can think of,
Okay.
because I find joy in that. What I will say is that he's loyal to Tottenham fans,
He is.
and I definitely think that they can manipulate him if they decide to use it that way.
I think his season this year was his manipulation. I don't think he's.
I think he
wants
shouldn't.
to stay. I think he
Like, I don't
wants
think he
to
should.
go. I think he's like, I'm ready to move on and do the next thing.
Sure.
And
But
I am okay with it. I don't think
I agree
like-
with that too. I don't think he owes him anything.
he doesn't owe him shit.
Yeah. No,
He carried
I
them
100%
by
agree.
himself all last season. All last
I
season
don't-
was Harry Kane's show, and he showed what kind of character he has.
Sure. I don't disagree with any of that. But I also think Daniel Levy is a dirty bitch,
Yes,
and
that's the problem.
he's only caring about himself.
Yeah.
And
I
I would
can't
not
do
put it
that
past
here.
Daniel
I
Levy.
think he's caring about Tottenham. I genuinely do. I think this is about the safety of Tottenham. And if he's got to get rid of Harry Kane for, he's not gonna let him go for what? How much is Harry Kane worth? If Declan Rice is worth 105, that's the
I
problem.
mean, but
man.
that's the problem though. He's almost 30. This is his last contract. Like
Yeah, but 30 is
he's
not 30 is not
no,
old.
it
30 is
is
like
though
prime.
for a striker. No, no,
You
no,
don't
no,
think
no,
so?
no, no. 30, 31. He'll be fine through 30, 31, 32 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's definitely a drop off, which is why I say this contract, whatever it runs, because it will probably be a minimum of 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have. They'll say he has no resale value after this. Like they might get a little something for him or something, but he's got. This is it. This is. If you want to get any money for him, you got to get him now. Either that or he retires out of Tottenham, and they write him off as an asset. I don't know, but like that's it. Because I mean, hell, fucking, and Aubameyang's not the only one to do it, but there's been a ton of people. I mean, even Ronaldo, who is fantastic and takes care of himself. I mean, he made it to 36 as being effective,
He's still
but
effective.
most people cannot do that.
I think he would be able to hang in Premier League still.
I
Ronaldo.
think he could come off the bench. He can't do it. He can't be the only one doing it anymore.
You don't think
He
he can
just
run
can't.
90 minutes? No. He definitely needs a team.
Not over the course
He
of
definitely
30,
needs a team.
38 games.
He definitely needs a team. But
Where'd
I
you
don't
go?
know. In my mind, I'm
you
I'm
get
back in the
lost?
dungeon. No, I'm back in the dungeon.
I know, so am I. I'm waiting to see where you're at.
Let's try that. Here.
I'm here. Wait, you're coming this way anyway. Let me go back and finish up what's up north. No, I think Messi is probably the smartest one. He
Messi.
figured out how to like still be effective. Like he's still effective, but he's not the Messi he like everybody thinks he is.
No.
He's smart. He got older. He changed his game.
Yeah.
He makes sure he's effective.
Yeah.
But Messi now is not going to fucking grab a ball every what the fuck? No grid.
No, he's becoming more like a 10, really.
Right.
Just that attacking kind of.
Yeah, he picks his times. He gets in there. He makes his break at the right times. All that shit. But he's not going to grab a ball for the vast majority of 90 minutes and be like, I'm just going to walk up and down the field with this bitch stuck to my foot. He's not doing that anymore.
No. The thing that bothers me about Messi, and that kind of puts him under Ronaldo for me, is the fact that he never competed in the Premier League. Yeah, you won a World Cup.
I'm just
And
warming
that's
up.
awesome. But you never played at like the truest highest level, you know? Your time at Barcelona was good, and you did play Champions League ball, and you did win Champions League ball. There's no doubt about that. But you didn't really do what Ronaldo did.
You dare attack
Okay,
me?
I'm fascinated. What do you mean by what did he not do that Ronaldo did?
Ronaldo did it with United. He won
Oh.
Premier League titles. He won FA Cups. He competed at the highest club level, right? Both of us agree that the Premier League is the highest football level in Europe.
I would agree with that assessment. Yes.
I just don't think the other leagues are as bad as you say they are.
Sure.
So, and you're gonna
That's
find
fine.
out this season anyway. But like, and once again, different ball isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I'm so good, I astound
Like
myself.
the German counterattacking style is fun to watch. It's exciting. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Still waiting.
Good God, this fucking thing is huge. this the final fucking dungeon or something? Like, this thing feels massive, right?
Need more time.
What was I saying?
I will bring the light of Zakarum
Counterattacking
to the
style,
heathens.
Germany,
Here in the
exciting.
east, the power of Zakarum wanes.
Yeah.
but in the
So
west it
Ronaldo
will
did it
rise,
in the Premier League.
Stronger and greater
He
than
won
ever.
European
Yet I
Cup,
have another purpose.
Champions
the lost
League
Nephilim city of
in the
Corvus
Premier League.
lies
He
in the
won
west.
all of that shit in the
I
Premier
will
League.
find it.
And like
Right.
Messi was chilling in one of the best teams in Europe, bar none. You know,
Sure.
but like you're still not playing at the same level in La Liga against the same types of opponents week after week
No.
as you are in Premier League. I mean, even the shit teams in Premier League will fucking beat City because the field is long and the ball is round. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Right.
it can happen. But you
Sure it
put
is.
last place against Barcelona in La Liga, it's probably not going to happen. There's not a good chance that that's going to happen.
Right. Right.
So in that respect, like, he didn't really have to work as hard. The only real competition he had was Madrid. And like when Ronaldo goes to Madrid, what happens to Messi? How many
gets a
titles
lot
did he
better.
win there? Like nothing.
Oh, yeah, we need to go. Okay. This is some bullshit. This fucking thing is huge.
Your grave awaits.
Oh, God. Hey, we finally found something.
What do we think?
We're going into the Great Hall. We're gonna go defeat Adra.
Who?
Adra? I think that's how you say her name.
Alright, let's do it again.
You declined the event.
I had to change one button before we jumped in. Alright, I'm good now. Let's go. A bloody good time.
There you go. Maybe this is it.
Let's see where you've been hiding, Malthael.
Isn't this the lady who created Diablo?
The angels
It
will
is.
never suffer us to live. They cannot accept the fact that we may choose our own path.
I don't even know what that
At
means,
least
lady.
demons are not so rigid in their beliefs.
Seriously though, that... The team I'm most worried about, top three. No particular order, but the three teams that I'm worried about. Arsenal, Liverpool, and Newcastle.
See, now
if I'm super
I think
honest.
y'all.
Newcastle is
I-
going to be a bitch next season.
See, now I have different approaches. I do think Newcastle's going to do okay. I would expect them in the top 6.
Still
I
waiting.
don't see them showing up in the top 4 again.
Why not?
Because I think Eddie Howe got the drop on people, and I think that teams are going to be more ready for him this go round. I think they're going to know what they're up against to a different degree, and that's when you're going to find out how good Eddie Howe really is. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that I think he did a great job putting together a squad that people didn't expect. But
Diablo will return.
and he used them well. I just don't think they
image of pandemonium.
I think people weren't
was
prepared,
searching for
and now
Matthew,
they've taken
so
him
he
seriously, and
must
they're
be
like, all
there.
right, we gotta be for real with him, and I think that's gonna change things. I think he's gonna have a harder time. That's all. I don't see Chelsea being, but that's the problem too. I also
I don't see
like. I'm
Chelsea.
kind of hoping.
I did not say Chelsea.
No. I'm
Chelsea.
saying like it's
For me,
really
if
weird
Chelsea
how
makes
I.
top 6, I will literally
It's-
eat a Carolina Reaper, man. Like that
It's
is
very interesting how I'm approaching all this, to be honest, because I can see United like clawing for the
Alright, we
top
gotta get
4.
out of
I
here.
hope
I need to go
Brighton's
back.
in there.
I hope Brighton's in
I-
there too.
I expect you guys and us should be definitely in the top 4.
Yeah.
I expect that. And
Discovered that Malthael is in
but
pandemonium.
but the funny thing is,
No
like,
doubt he has
it's
gone to the
hard to tell,
fortress.
just like it was hard to tell
Malthael
last
can
time,
hold out there until
because
the end of time.
it's
is
not who's
forcing us to
better,
come
it's
to
who's
him.
not worse.
He hides and waits,
And like that's
hoping that if he
where
can
I'm
delay
kind
us
of
long
at
enough,
with the whole
he will grow too
situation. Is like,
powerful
I
even for
don't
me.
necessarily
The only way to pandemonium is
think
through the
liver.
high
I think
heavens. Let us
Klopp
leave at
is
once.
running out of time. I think Klopp's got a certain amount of time where he's effective, and then it loses effectiveness. And I think he's approaching the time where he's used up his people to a
Well,
point
they're
where
in the
he can't
rebuild.
recover anymore.
He's
Well,
in a
right, but
rebuild.
but he's starting to lose his mind a little bit. Like,
What?
like I'm not. Have you not heard him like going on his tirades and all that shit?
He
Like,
was
I
fucked
think
over
he's-
by that referee, by the way.
That's fine. I'm not arguing that. Everybody's fucked over by a referee at least once during the season. Like, that's not. I don't give a shit one way or another. Like, we get fucked over all the time, and there's tons of shit that shows it.
I
But
need
The
arcane
the only team that gets fucked
oh
over
my god.
is City, and that's because
Oh, only.
they're racist against
Yeah,
Arabs.
yeah, that's it. Just that.
And there is a large portion
Dares to attack us.
of the league that is anybody
That don't
but
like
City.
Arabs, sure.
Malthael
Anybody but
is
City.
my brother. I fought 1,000
And that's not
battles by
that's
his
not the way
side,
I feel.
and
I'm
I
like
care
anybody
not that he
like
seeks to
United,
destroy
but that's
you and
natural.
your
That's an
kind.
honest, natural reaction
My brother
upon
has
seeing
grown sick,
United
and
play.
he must be
Sure it
put
is.
down for his own sake.
Anyway, my point is this. I think
And so it falls to
everybody
you.
keeps thinking
Come
Liverpool's going to recover,
to pandemonium.
and maybe they will to some degree. But I think they're running out of time. I think their time is almost up, and that Liverpool's going to have another string of mediocrity coming up. And I think Klopp's done within the next 3 years at most. That's what I think is going to happen in Liverpool. I think it's going to fall apart.
But you really haven't said why. Just
It's
because
just-
his
it's-
style of play of what pressing
it's-
high.
Well,
If
his
he
gig
presses
is
high, gets the counter attack and go. That's literally what everybody's doing.
right, but there's a human element to it that like it wears on you. You can only sustain that kind of behavior
Malthael's
for so
attempt
long
to keep
without
me
it
from entering
taking an actual
pandemonium
physical
simply confirms that he is
effect
still unwilling to face me.
like
Now,
like
I
those
must
who have
cross
been there
the
for a
blighted
long time
wasteland,
are probably
site of 1,000
like
battles
running
between
out of the
angel
ability
and
to
demon.
do it anymore.
The angel of death awaits me in the pandemonium
Well,
fortress on the other
There's
side.
a rumor going around that Mo Salah
He
is
will
probably
not
going
be
to.
waiting long.
Fabinho is still there. He's good.
Who? Did you say
Firmino?
Fabinho?
Yeah, Fabinho's good.
Firmino? No, he's gone.
Fabinho
He
left.
he did his farewell last game. He scored in the last game of the season. Had a big cry.
All right. Well,
They know he's leaving.
he's gone. Trent
He's
Alexander-Arnold is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
He's
but
gonna
he's
be in
as
midfield.
long as he keeps playing midfield, he's
Virgil
awesome.
van Dijk needs to wake the fuck up, but Virgil van Dijk is top class, top shelf.
I don't think
top
so.
class.
I think that his injuries and his
That's what I'm
confidence
saying.
is shot.
He
and
needs to
he's-
wake up. He needs to
He's
wake
still
up.
good. He's just
top
not
class.
as good as he used to be.
He's top class.
I'll take my boys
Firmino
over him.
left, but not Fabinho left or Firmino left.
Roberto Firmino left, the Brazilian.
Yeah,
Or I guess
Roberto
they're both
Firmino. I
Brazilian.
wasn't counting him. Fabinho, ho.
Oh,
is still there.
Fabinho, the midfielder.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Curtis Jones. I don't know. Keita, Allison, Diego Jota. He's pretty alright.
That's Diego Jota, but yes.
He's in it's Jota. It's Jota.
I mean, okay, that's
Thiago's
fine.
good
You're
if
probably
he can
right
stop.
because the English can't pronounce shit right anyway. So
Right. Thiago's good if he can stop getting hurt. Conte. I can't remember him playing. Milner.
Milner's got to be
Chamberlain.
done.
I think Chamberlain left, didn't he?
Who?
Luis
Ox?
Diaz is pretty good. Yeah.
Probably. Ox probably left.
Darwin
Come on, man.
Nunez is an awesome striker. He just needs to click.
No, Darwin Nunez is a
he will
twat.
get better.
Now,
He
I'll
will
give-
get better. He will.
Who's
get
the
better.
other guy? Who's the other guy they bought?
Caravella. Oh, Maguire. Maguire's the midfielder.
No. They've got 3 in the front. Darwin Nunez is a twat, and I'm going to say that until he proves me wrong. I think he sucks ass.
I think he needed a year.
What's his name? They paid a lot for him. He was a forward. It's something with a G. Is his first name?
G is his first name?
No, yeah, I think that's his first name. Hold on. Let me
Look
find
at the
out.
squad. Hold on. We got Allison.
Yeah,
We got
Allison's still
Kellner
good.
as a goalkeeper. Adrian is a goalkeeper. Conte is a center back. Van Dijk is a center back. Gomez is a center back. Matip is a center back. Nathaniel Phillips is a center back. They got a lot of center backs. Robertson's left back. Schemis, I don't know where he's from. He's left back. Arnold, he should be playing midfield. He shouldn't be playing right back. Ramsey, he's right back. Fabinho, he's midfield defensive. Pajedek, he's D midfield. Curtis Jones, I think he was good. Central midfield.
No, Curtis Jones, he was good like 2 years ago, and then he kind of was shit
He
this
fell
year.
off? Okay.
Yeah, he fell off.
Thiago, he's injured, but central field. Mello, I don't remember him playing. Kiata, I don't remember him playing. Henderson, I don't remember him. Chamberlain's good. I hope he's still there. Milner, he was okay.
Cody Gakpo. That's who I was thinking of.
Cody Gakpo.
Cody Gakpo is pretty good. Luis Diaz, even though I think
Luis
he's
Diaz is really good.
he's very good.
Gakpo, you're right. Gakpo is fucking actually really good.
Yes, Gakpo is good. Diaz is
Jota
good.
is pretty
Jota
good.
is a little prick, but he's actually pretty good.
Mo Salah is a Mo Salah. And then Darwin Nunez, this might be his season. I'm not saying it's his season, but it might be his season. But yeah, Liverpool. See, McAllister was one of those guys that I wanted. I wanted McAllister for us. I thought he would have been a really good replacement for Gundogan. Not that I'm unhappy with Kovac. I think Kovacic is going to be good. But I really wanted McAllister. Where's United coming? We know City's first. We know Arsenal's probably third.
Third? Why are we
Liverpool's
third?
probably going to be second.
No, they're not. I don't think so. I think we'll get them.
I think they got something to prove, especially if Mo Salah doesn't leave. If Mo Salah doesn't leave, they definitely got something to prove, and that's a dangerous
I still
Liverpool.
think
And it's still
I still
Liverpool,
think
man. Nobody
I
goes
still
into
think we-
Anfield and think that's an easy game.
Nobody. You shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't.
Even though last year they
It was a
lost a
pretty
ton
easy
at
game.
Anfield. But
it was kind of an easy game there. But when they start singing that fucking song, man, it gets neat.
I'm just
I
warming
mean, yeah,
up.
you can't like. I don't fucking.
Demons.
I don't argue the fact that it's a tough place to go. Shit. Even as big of a joke as Everton was, like, Everton is no fucking joke to go to.
That's true.
Like,
Like,
no matter what,
a
they're
lot of those
bastard.
stadiums are like, that's hardcore, man.
Like they're not joking when they say
Brighton is
like
another one.
away is tough.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care where you go. It's a bitch of a fixture away. Newcastle's no fucking joke either.
Yeah.
Like that's not. You
We're just
can't.
gonna assume that every stadium you play in is hard. Because you play at the Etihad, man. Like teams get
Oh, yeah.
shook going into the Etihad. Like
Sure.
get shook because we don't lose at
I
the
mean,
Etihad.
it's a nice little place actually. The Etihad's is a pretty solid looking little place. That was fun to go to. We
Now,
went.
how jealous am
for-
I that you've been to the Etihad and I haven't?
I didn't have a
Oh.
choice. I didn't have a choice. The
How
kids.
did you go to City? Oh, because
'Cause we went to
the
see Man U.
oldest is his favorite. That's right.
The oldest is favorite is the city, and we were there, and my brother's like, I can't not go to the store, and I was like, that's fine. So I've been in there. I've been in their team store.
The fortress gates.
And you didn't buy me
And-
nothing.
But it is
No,
useless
I
without
didn't.
the siege
That was a
lords
couple
that
years ago.
power it. You have won
That was a
your
few years
possession.
ago.
Our true
I'm jealous. That's definitely a trip I want to
You will
make.
find them
Actually, that was
in
the
the
one I laugh about because I didn't
along with the
understand their
demons that carry
their
them.
train tickets. So we bought tickets, but
Once
then
you
it
have
said
the
like
rubies,
good till
go to
11.
the ram.
We made it from the one side of
But know this,
Manchester
Nephilim,
to the
even
Etihad.
if you release
Shopped,
Malthael from
and it
his
was still well
madness,
before 11,
I
so we just got
will
back on the
not
fucking
thank you
train.
for
So
it.
I don't know if we stole a train ride to come back or not, but oh well. That's kind of where. It's kind of where I'm leaving it.
I think you'll
No,
be
I've
okay.
been.
If you're in the, I think you'll be okay. That's my legal.
Yeah, no. I've been to. Let's see here. So far, I have been to Arsenal. I refuse to step in Tottenham's. I've been to United. I've been to the Etihad. I do regret not going to Leeds. We should have gone. I do want to
Your
go to,
defenses
and
are
I've been to
nothing.
PSG.
Okay.
I've been to their store. I have seen Marseille's.
Okay.
We didn't go into the store, but I have seen Marseille's training ground and where they play.
Okay.
Because that's my one thing. When I'm in Europe, I've got to go. Like, whoever's around here, we got to at least go by their place
Sure.
and see it.
I don't have
And
enough
to be
arcane
honest,
power.
PSG, little disappointing. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's not as new as Arsenal. Because I mean, Arsenal's like the second newest, or well, it was at the time. I think, yeah, Tottenham hadn't finished building theirs yet.
Need
So
more
when we
arcane
went,
power.
like, Arsenal was the newest.
Newest stadium.
Yeah. I will say this: Old Trafford was fun. Old Trafford is a piece
It's
of
not
shit.
even in Manchester.
No, it's not.
Like, who the fuck do they think they
No,
are?
it is. It is.
It's in
Manchester.
Trafford.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
Manchester City is in Manchester.
Yes, Manchester City's on the other
Manchester
side of
United
Manchester.
is in Trafford.
I don't.
They're Trafford United.
Is that what that stupid? We had to walk across some water, and I wonder if that was the separation of Manchester. Manchester. Let's see here. No. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes, I guess you are not technically wrong.
I am not technically wrong.
In the sense of it's like, yes, it's like Richmond to Chesterfield.
Yes.
Yes, Trafford
Chesterfield
is,
United is what they are.
Yes, so because that's where we were on. We fortunately got a Airbnb off of Trafford
just
Road
warming
on
up.
the other side of the river.
Okay.
So we were less than a mile away as we walked to Old Trafford.
Sure.
But yes, looking at the map, you are technically correct. It is Trafford.
Yes.
You are right.
They are in Trafford.
Yes, they are. You are correct. So,
Trafford
but anyway,
United.
I've been to like that's my one thing that I am now doing is I like going to
Not
stadium
ready yet.
tours.
I
like
don't blame
seeing
you.
the
It's fucking
stadium.
awesome.
It's fun for me.
Like, I would like to go to, like, the old ones, like Sheffield United and stuff like that.
That's why I wanted to go to Newcastle. Like I told Katie she wants to go up to Scotland, and so do I. And I was like, if we're gonna do that, like, we've got to make time to go to Newcastle. Like, and we saw Leeds from the train. Like we took the train up to York, and like I saw Leeds and I saw the stadium from the train. And I was like, we should have gone.
Yeah, that would have been
She was like, do you know how much we paid for the North London Derby? And I was like, yeah, it's fair. Because Jesus Christ, don't ever go to a fucking rival game. I mean, do it
I'm
once.
only going to go to the rival games. I'm only
Do
gonna go
it
to
once.
Champions League.
Don't do it again.
No,
Jesus.
when we go, we're going to, I finally move there, we're going to get the season pass.
Dude, do you know how much money it is for those fucking games?
I don't care.
Like I said, once, I'm glad I did
If
it.
you have
I'll
season
never.
passes, then you're good.
I didn't think I could
Well,
get
yes,
any
if you have a
better.
season ticket, but that's different.
That's what we're going to do. If we can get our...
That's a different, yeah. The season, yeah. If you're sitting with the plebes, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But if you're a visitor and you have to use the concierge tickets because that's the only way to guarantee you get a game ticket, that bitch is expensive. Worth it. I'll never forget those memories. But god damn, it was expensive.
I've been to Camp Nou.
That's
I've been
cool.
to Bernabeu. I've been to... I forget the name.
We were
of
gonna
it.
do that.
Bayern Munich, wherever they play.
Pandemonium is the alpha and the omega of the
Been
eternal
to
conflict.
PSG.
It lies at the
Been to
center of
Lyon.
all things,
That's cool.
linking
Been
the
to-
realms of heaven and hell. Long ago, when the angels were young,
I kind of wanted to go to
aspect of
Rennes, but
wisdom
we couldn't.
found
We
the
weren't going
eye
on
of
that side of
Anu
France,
here.
so I didn't
He
get a chance
named
to
it
go.
You don't
the
like
World
French League, do you?
Stone, and
I don't,
all
but
of them swore
Balogun was
to
playing for
protect
late
it.
Rennes at the time, or whoever it was that Balogun was playing for. We weren't.
Who
that
did you
far
pick in
from-
France? Let's see.
I don't know.
You picked.
Did I pick Marseille? I feel like I did.
Yeah, AC Milan and Turin. Did I not make you watch? Germany, Italy.
Oh no, we agreed that France sucks. That was never on our list.
I think
We
you're
agreed
right.
that French league is just boring as fuck.
Yeah, because it's only PSG and really it's like PSG, Lyon, Marseille.
Yeah.
Or Monaco, not Marseille. Not even Marseille. Monaco.
No, if you saw their training ground, you would understand why. Because it's it was not
I'm
impressive.
unstoppable.
Good God. It's taking way longer than I wanted it to.
Well, they've gotten later.
No, I meant like I thought this was like a short.
No, this is a whole thing. It's really the only DLC
You need
mode out of
arcane
this.
power.
Well, yeah, and usually the first one's not exactly
I know
the
of the Realm Walker.
I don't think there is.
most compelling.
It
They didn't
roams
make
the
any more of those
outskirts of Pandemonium, a lumbering giant
Right.
with a gaping
Right,
hollow
but my
at its
point is
core.
that a lot of people plan
Somehow,
to do more than
it
one.
can hide
Oh,
its
that's
Sometimes they
body
just
away,
don't do it.
disguising itself as a mere portal. Those who pass through it are trapped
Jesus
in a distant
Christ.
world, never to be seen again.
All right, so apparently we're supposed to go down that.
Yeah, oh shit.
Let's go. It was a lot of shit. Let's go. Realm of the Banished.
Man.
You
Charlotte
dare
did not
attack
make it
me?
into the playoffs so far. I don't know how many games are left. I really
Okay.
should research MLS a little bit.
That's one of the weirdest things about all of this, to be honest.
I wish we. I know why we don't have the relegation and stuff like that because we don't have the
I don't
depth
have enough
and
arcane power.
There isn't any other league. But having a divisional playoff is stupid.
I agree.
Like having a tournament cup, okay, where everybody's involved, okay, and then having a league, okay. But I guess, I mean, if you don't have, the problem with MLS is there's no pressure because you don't have relegation. So a loss doesn't mean anything. Wins are great, but a loss doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but we've also grown up with that because technically in the NFL it doesn't mean anything anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
It's
Right?
the shittiest way
You
to do
lose,
sport.
you lose, you just get made fun of. Like
Yeah.
that's
and
how
then,
we
and
do it.
then you turn around and you get the best player because draft.
Right.
Oh no, my shit broke.
Did you forget to repair all this time?
Man, I don't think I prepared it at all. So,
You probably should do that.
Need more arcane power.
Oh, there's a dude. Get him. Treasure dude. Punch him in the dick. Ooh.
Still
Good
waiting.
shit. What?
what?
Alright. Nothing. Alright. This bitch came out of nowhere. Alright. You wanna, I guess find a spot where we run out of road and go to town to sell some shit? Maybe repair?
Sure.
Oh, I slow now with my little spinny spin. Okay.
No, that's me. I'm always the.
Need more time.
I mean, for once, I don't feel like all powerful.
No, actually. Although we're still not losing health. So it's not-
No, we're not. We're not in danger, but it just
How does
isn't
that
like
feel?
we're not
just
wiping shit
murdering.
out.
Yeah.
God damn it. Every time I go somewhere, I'm like, okay, this is clearly gonna end, and then we
Your
can turn around.
defenses are nothing.
Fucking just opens back up.
No, and there's always like 5 more little critters.
Yep.
Are you excited about being in Champions League?
I mean, yeah. If nothing else, so that I don't have to hear fucking commentators tell us how we should be in Champions League. Like,
I'm unstoppable.
I mean, once you're in Champions League, it's like you gotta stay in Champions League.
sure.
That's the hard
Especially for
part.
money.
Yeah.
But it's also
Once
one of
you
those
get used
things,
to
like,
it, it's
there's a dynamic that people just, they acknowledge, but then won't acknowledge at the same time. It's very, very entertaining to listen to, right? So what do we say? We're the best league in the world. Everybody's competitive. Da 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 da. We have a top 6, right? Which is better than top 2, or top 1, or whatever the other leagues have, right?
Okay.
Like, we all acknowledge that we have more competitiveness in the Premier League than any other league,
dare
and that's what
attack
makes it
me?
compelling, right? Okay.
I
so
think
with
that's
that
true.
in mind,
Sure.
huh?
I think that's true. I also
I
think
agree.
it's the support of the lower leagues that makes the English football so good.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
because they know like 3rd-tier teams, and when those guys get up,
Let's
they
go back.
celebrate and they get excited about the little teams coming in.
Yeah,
And I don't think
absolutely.
other leagues have that. Or
I agree
haven't
with that.
experienced that.
I absolutely
I
agree
need
with
to
you.
go back.
But go on.
But what I'm driving at is, in this case, we all acknowledge what it is, and then, but then if we have a top 6, right,
Okay.
and we know for a fact that that top 6 has there's only 4 fucking places for Champions League,
Mm-hmm.
then by design, right, 2 are always going to miss out in the top 4.
Okay.
And so the fact that they shit all over, like, whoever the 2 are that don't make it, I think is slightly ridiculous. That's kind of
What do you mean shit on? Who's shitting on?
the commentators, like
What do you mean
no
by
matter
shit on?
what.
Like, what did they say about Arsenal that hurt
Oh,
your
they-
feelings?
No, it's not just Arsenal. Like, they did it about Liverpool, and they're like,
Well, Liverpool
like,
fucked up, and they should be.
sure.
And they dropped like a fucking rock.
Sure. But even if they were all, if everybody was competitive, like,
Uh-huh.
even if the top 6 really fought all the way through to the end,
Uh-huh.
there's still going to be the argument that whoever the 2 who got left out, they had a failure of a season because they're not in the top 4. And my point is, the math works out. There has to be 2 failures because we have 6 teams, right, that are the top 6. That's my point.
Okay.
So
Those 2 teams
I'm
should
glad
have
that
tried
we're no
harder, and they're
longer in
fucking
that.
failures.
We're no longer in that conversation where we're a fucking failure because
You know everyone's just waiting for you to trip.
100%.
Like, everybody's saying that it was just a fluke.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no question.
Do you think it was a fluke?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Now, do I want to believe that we're going to be, depending on whoever wins, are we going to be within points of City? I would like for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't win the league again this year, but we were within 3 to 5 points at the end of the season of the winner,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still very happy about that because I think you competed. But do I think we are a shoe-in for the top 4? Yes. Like, there's nothing that tells me that any of the other top 6 are are going to come back with a vengeance. I'm still trying to. I'm still not sure. Like, I need time to figure out how I feel about Newcastle and if they can actually do it again.
Uh-huh.
And again, like Brighton, I think has the capability, but it also we'll have to see if they can go at it again.
Okay.
But I don't give a shit you hired Punch. Chelsea's not going to be like fighting for the league title this year. They're just not. Like, that's not what's going to happen. So I'm not worried about them in the top 4, to be honest. I think United would fight for it. Oh, there's more up north. Jesus, we missed a whole fucking section.
All right, I'm good now.
I think United has a chance at being top 4.
Okay.
I think Newcastle has a chance. I'm hoping Brighton has a chance because I just think that's fun.
I think that would be awesome if they did.
I think if Liverpool partially gets its head out of its ass, it's probably fighting for top 4.
Okay. We
and
can't have
then
all
that's
those
it.
guys fighting for top 4.
Right. So that's like 5. And I would say if I had to rank them, or if I had to give probability of success, it would be my 4 would probably be United, City, in no order.
Okay.
United, City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Those would be my. If I had to guess right now, that's my top 4.
All right. Who wins the league?
I mean, I got to see what Arteta does with our.
Just, I mean,
I
if
gotta
you say
see what
Arsenal,
Arteta
that's
does with our
fine.
team.
If you think you have a good shot at winning the league, say it.
I think we can. I think we can push again.
You
That's
gotta
what
win
I
the league.
think.
All right. So what's this today? What's today? 28th.
Yes,
On the 28th, Jake said Arsenal's going to win.
that's right.
That's fine.
Yes, that's what I said. I said that. I said we have the ability. I don't think it's a
Definitively
fluke.
win the
Your
league.
grave awaits.
Okay,
By
without
100
question.
points.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Nobody's gonna win. Everybody's gonna lose to everybody. Somehow we're gonna figure out a way that nobody gets any points.
Hey man, City did it. If City did it, little bro can do it. That's what I think.
No, you didn't win by 100 points. You won
No.
with
We won
100.
with 100 points. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. I was like,
By 100 points, I don't even know if that's mathematical.
that's not possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, that's my. Oh fuck, back in there.
I'm going in this hole.
Alright.
Okay.
What? I mean, I went. Yeah, we gotta actually find what we came here to do.
What did we come here to do?
Siege runes retrieved from the battlefield.
No.
That's what we're looking for. Siege
Nephilim,
runes.
we found something we can use.
What? What did you find?
Long ago, this weapon was used to bring down a mighty siege beast
Cool.
and its demon master.
What's a siege beast?
Even now, the device maintains its power.
I mean, I understand those two words together.
Sadly, the
But
weapon now
Who are you-
attacks us
who are you
as well
talking
as
to?
our enemies.
An angelic
we can use
scout?
it in this fight, though, if we can regain control
okay.
of it.
Alright, so there's a weapon that killed the siege beast, but they lost control of it, so now we gotta get control of it.
Nephilim, to me.
To me,
I will
please.
protect you.
I'm coming. I found a tunnel, by the way. There's some ruins down by me, all the way south. So
Okay.
I'm coming to you.
I'm not really sure what I should be doing here. Oh. Yes.
Nephilim, to me. I will protect you.
Please protect me.
Don't die.
Close, close.
There you go. A little bit of excitement. Oh my.
Still waiting.
An oppression spirit? What's that?
To me. I will protect
This is
you.
the thing that killed the siege beast. We gotta regain control of it.
Okay. How do we do that?
Kill it, guys.
Alright.
Not ready yet.
Nephilim, to me.
How's your health?
I will protect you.
100%.
Oh god. We gotta do this for like ever. This is gonna take a while.
What are you talking about? What's going on?
No, ritual. Oh, okay, it's going up, not down. Okay, I had that backwards.
Nephilim, to
Requires
me!
filling
I
up,
will
not
protect you!
counting down.
Like I've already been doing this for half an hour.
Well, I know, that's why I was confused. I was like, Jesus, this thing's taking forever. Come here, twat.
Still waiting.
It is unfortunate that Kurikos corrupted the weapon.
The great weapon was created in response to a siege on the Pandemonium Fortress by Kurikos,
Here.
a demon lord who rode a monstrous
Come here.
siege beast.
Or what?
At great cost to ourselves, we channeled much energy into the great weapon
Interesting.
and succeeded in bringing down Kurikos and his mount. Upon his death, the demon was drawn inexplicably
you
into
break
the
it down?
weapon, and it has been
No.
attacking us ever since.
Learned a legendary bracer. I was identifying it. Alright. Let's see. How do you like being a little cannon?
So much that in Diablo 4 I'm thinking about being a sorcerer again.
Wow.
It's I'm torn between three. Sorcerer again, just to see how it's different, is really the objective there. But I guess I could do that. Necromancer, just because I like Necromancer, but I also think the Druid Necromancer would be just silly. And then Barbarian.
Barbarian's fun.
Something with a big ass stick. It can carry all the things.
I will enjoy
The skill set kind of reminds me of like not 100%, right? Just the way it sounds is like when warrior tanks and WoW used to have to stance. It sounds like that. Like if you want to do a move, you hit the move and it pulls out your sword. But there's some moves that are sword based, hammer based, whatever, two-hammer thing based. So you carry all of the weapons on you. So you have the sword, you have the hammer. You want to move, you pull out you automatically pull out the appropriate weapon to do the
That's cool.
Yeah, so it does sound cool. But the micromanagement of 4 or 5 weapons, whatever it is,
That sounds a little obnoxious.
yeah. Because I mean that's 5 stats. Like, shit, that stats that I gotta keep track of. Which is not necessarily bad, but not the experience I want. Like with him, I don't even care about like what it does. If damage goes up, it goes up.
Right.
Nothing else matters. That's the
We've
only
got a
stat I'm
couple
looking
of caves we can look at. There's one over here, which takes us to an ancient ruin.
Yeah, you know how I feel about the ancient ruins.
I know. I'm kind of wondering, is this worth doing, or should we just keep doing the story?
I'm like, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So, like,
Let's go ahead. And
I'm a town portal.
Let's go. Hold on. Let's just go find the last. Let's go find that last siege room because he's out here.
He's out here.
Yeah, we just gotta find him because we already got one. The other one's out here somewhere. Let's just do that.
But I already got you a spear. Like, what else is there?
Huh? What's the spear got to do with it? I'm
The
talking
spear
about
was the
finishing-
weapon. That came off. That was the thing with the siege beast.
Yes, but that's not our objective. Our objective is to kill the
I need arcane power.
rune dudes. Yeah, there's a person who's in like a time stomp that is the rune. I killed one already. We just need to find the other one.
You dare attack me?
Where is
They're
it?
not hard to kill. I guess it's up north. It was glowy and pulsing when I came across the other one.
I got something
All right,
glowing,
to the left.
pulsing for
I
it.
see it. That's right. To the left, there's an arrow. Arrow's always good.
I'm just warming up.
All right, down here, across this little walkway. Here we go. This is it. This is the event.
This is the event?
Yep. Kill the trap demons.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Now we've done what we were here for.
Hey.
All right. It's marked on our map, fortunately. Whatever the entrance to the... Okay, it's all the way back there anyway, so...
Going town portal.
Yeah, we're
I
done.
need to go back.
At least we found it. Like, we know where it is. When
We know what we're doing. You know what I mean?
We know next round. We know.
Professionals.
That's right.
Hmm.
All right. Well, that was that.
You know
That
what the
was
best
fun.
part of all this shit is?
What?
That transfer just fucking started. That's the best part. Like, it's not even heavy into it yet.
No, but a lot of people are trying to get their shit done early.
Yeah.
Like the big teams are.
I don't blame you. It's gonna be a tight market, but I think it's like next month all the free agents come off, because right
Sure.
now you can't even talk about that shit because they're still. But like next month, once the free agents get into the game, oof, it's gonna be nutty.
Yeah,
I
I'm kind of
hope we
wondering
get that
if-
center back from Litzbig. I really do. I'm super impressed by that guy.
I
He's
kinda
literally
hope
the
they'll-
reason why I chose Litzbig, because I didn't know he was obviously gonna get him moved to the city the next fucking season. But I chose Litzbig because of that guy. Gosh darn it.
That's all right.
No, I mean Munich will be in the back of my head, but Red Bull. I'm a Red Bull fan now.
There you go. Red Bull.
Red Bull all the way.
I like it.
Leverkusen. Leverkusen isn't bad. Leverkusen's actually top 4.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. Columbus Crew is doing well
My
too.
ally has left. The enemies I face
old
will be
Columbus.
weaker
A
now.
lot of your shit is top 4. You didn't make bad choices.
No, I tried not to.
All right, big boy. I love
All
you.
right, man. Take
her
it easy.
man.
Have a good evening.
Take her easy.
Alright.
Tomorrow I'll call you around like 9:30 something like that.
Okay.
All right. Have your phone
All right.
on and around you, so it's not like you.
Yeah.
All right.
I gotta check it. I gotta check when my meeting is in the morning. I do have 2 meetings I have
All
to
right.
go
Then
to.
you text me
Okay.
the appropriate time to which to expect you.
Okay.
All right, and I'll finish up what I got to finish up early, and then I'll be able to hang out.
All right. Sounds
All right,
good.
brother. Love you.
All right.
Bye.
Later.